yet.
I know, but I had a whole list of song lyrics for you. Forgot to give them to you ahead of time.
I got one for you. It's all right.
Oh, you do? Okay. Come with it this time. Last time was weak.
And I thought of it last minute. This is Off Color Discussions. I am your host, Joe B. Back in the saddle again. My man, Billy C.
Bravo. That was a good one. Good evening.
This episode's brought to you by Smoke Proper. Go to smokeproper.com. Use OCD at time of checkout. Save yourself 10%. Get yourself a rolling kit if you partake. I'm not going to say anybody special or particular, but if your name's Jason or something and you partake legally and like to smoke, this is a rolling kit that you can roll cigarettes with.
It's awesome.
Roll your weed with, whatever you want to do. It's a little flashlight. You can take shit on the go with you.
I mean, you can't do that here.
No, I mean medically you could.
Yeah, well,
medically.
Yeah, of course.
And you had the card, then you could.
Yeah.
Then you definitely could. And then be on your way. So, smokeproper.com. Use OCD at time and check out. Save 10%. I almost forgot what the fucking name was.
Bravo.
Whoops. This episode is also brought to you by Conic Construction. Go to conicconstruction110.com. Get a free rate quote. Email Mike. Be like, what's up? I want a new deck. I want a 3-season porch. I want my porch closed in.
I want my bathroom tiled.
Yeah, grouting sucks.
Did I get personal right there?
I got a little. I'm not gonna lie. I should have called him. I did not call him.
You would have saved 10%.
I would have, but I did not. So
we'll see how this turns out.
And it's also brought to you by Vermont's Otter Creek Brewing Co. with their Free Flow IPA.
Delicious.
Mind melting IPA. Is it mind melting now?
It's not mind melting. No.
Mind melting.
It's nice though. It's an easy drinker. It's good color.
Free Flow. I do like the can. It's nice, simple.
It's very hippie-ish.
A little bit, but I think a lot of stuff from Otter Creek is.
Which is fine. That's the way you roll.
And our guest this week comes all the way from Australia. Hip hop artist Mugzy.
And comic book aficionado, let me tell you, we were having a nice little conversation before we got started about the Marvel, DC, the MCU. It's good stuff.
You think they'll ever do like a Marvel DC mashup fight, or just no, they'll never?
He had said the only one you could throw in there is like Batman. Batman's the coolest one that you could just throw in any situation. He could roll with it.
See that?
Hey, what's up, guys? From the Sydney, Australia, and the land down under. Obviously, the Paul Hogans, the Hugh Jackmans, the Heath Ledgers, and the Chris Hemsworth. And hey, so far, taking home for Australia, we've had the best Joker so far. So, Heath Ledger, of course.
Fair point.
So thanks so much, guys, for having me on the show. And yes, man, put Batman in anything and he can just whip it up like gravy, man. He will know what to do. So yeah, just put Batman in anything, man. He's like that sauce, man. You can just put on like any of your meals, man. So
we use hot sauce here.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
like we use barbecue sauce, man. It's kind of like a salty. I don't know. It's like, do you use that barbecue? Yeah, use that barbecue sauce over there, right?
Yeah.
They're probably flavored a little bit different, but I mean they're all kind of different. I mean, you get Memphis is different than Carolina.
Yeah, but I mean they're all barbecue sauce. But
all right, let's not get off the rails here.
Barbecue sauce is delicious.
Barbecue sauce is delicious, but we don't want to get off the rails yet. It's too early.
Way too early. Talking to us from the future. You're 14 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it is 9:34 a.m. in the morning here. So that's is the sun still up over there, or is it like what time is it there?
It's just it's 7:30. It's going down. I mean, it's still light out.
We're on a summer, so it's light up until about, I think they said 8:14 was like sunset.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have to be home yet. Like, the street lights aren't on yet, but it's getting there. Like, you should be wrapping it up with your friends and heading that way.
Dinner.
Yeah, dinner. So
that's tripping me out, man, because, like, I'm looking at you guys right now, and you're wearing just, like, casual shirts, and I'm wearing, like, a hoodie, because right here in Australia, it's summer, and, like, over there, I think it's... Oh, no, sorry. over here it's winter, and for you guys it's summer.
So what's the temp there?
It's winter, man. So
well, winter for us is like we get down to like
Negative.
single digit numbers. So I mean, winter to us is different. So like in California, winter is like 65 degrees, maybe 70. For us, it's like sub-zero. So we just got out of winter.
Man, honestly, a lot of the outsiders, it's funny because, you know, when Christmas comes along, a lot of people think, well, if it's summer in Australia when it's, you know, Christmas over here, like, how do you do all the promotion stuff? And instead of like Santa coming down like the chimney and all that sort of stuff, we have him like riding in on a surfboard into like the shores of like Australian like board shorts, and you know, having the big sack on over his shoulder and stuff, and like the other reindeers surfing on surfboards coming into the shores of Australia. So
I just found a reason to like Christmas.
There you go. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Australian Christmas.
I'm gonna start celebrating that one.
Hopefully he doesn't get eaten by a shark.
Yeah, sharks are pretty crazy, getting a bit wild over here now, man. Like especially in Queensland, which is a different like state to where I am. They always attack the surfers and everything, which is crazy. It's like, yeah, you know, get off our waters and that. Like, yeah, man, we can't surf anymore. Yeah.
Dude, fuck.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that the best and like most dangerous surfing anywhere really? I mean, can't you catch like the best surfing there? But there's more sharks than anywhere else, kind of hanging out where the surfers are.
Honestly, I couldn't even like. The funny thing about that question is, man, you know, I like my mom, my dad, you know, and one of my brothers and stuff. I was telling you off air, like, are all surfers, like they're into the culture and all that sort of stuff. And they tried to get me into it, man, and I never picked up a board or anything. So like when they say, oh, the best waves are down the coast or this, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just water. Like, you know, it's just
fair enough.
Yeah, I have like no idea where the best spots are and stuff.
Can't get eaten by a shark if you're not in the water.
That's right. He may end up being the only surviving one because of shark attacks.
Crazy. So, new albums out?
No, man. Like, working on a new album. Or working on two things at the moment. Like, trying to work on a third album, and Sydney Film Academy, which is like a really big one here in New South Wales, where I'm from, hit me up recently. They found my Facebook page through a contact or something, and they wanted to do like a mini kind of documentary on me, just like how I got into hip hop and all that, and they want to submit it to all the film festivals and stuff over here, which was absolutely insane, man, because you know, I was just thinking that, like, you know, you always hear these documentaries and stuff on actual sign, like, you know, big artists. You never hear it on little independent artists and stuff. So I couldn't say no, I'm not big enough for that, you know. So yeah, I'm jumping on board, and they came up a few days ago to scout locations, and we're filming at the last week of June. And yeah, it's gonna be great, man. Just filming different locations, how I got into it, and I'm just gonna be happy when it's up on in the film festivals, man, because
that's awesome.
You know, yeah, it's weird. It's like my face on like film festivals and stuff. It'll be pretty crazy.
You'd probably freak the fuck out.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no, because they probably end up taking a picture of me when I'm making like a weird face, and then that would be the picture they go with. So that would be my paranoia about it. I'm not big on cameras. I don't like cameras. I don't like photos. No, I don't like photos being taken of me. That's evidence that I was there. So I don't like videos.
All this being live streamed on YouTube right now is not scaring you.
It's not scaring me.
Just giving you anxiety.
4 Valiums, I'm fine. That was a joke. I'm not really.
That is a lot.
I'm not taking.
That is a lot of Valiums. One would be all right.
I'd be sleeping. Now, what do you think about the whole?
I don't blame you for that, man. You know, because recently we've got a TV show here. We've got a big network called Channel 10 Network, and there was a comedy. Well, it's kind of like a problem solver show, but comedy show called Hughesy, We Have a Problem. And there's a comedian that we've got here called David Hughes, and he made the show where, you know, it's kind of like he's got a panel of guests, and then he gets someone out of the crowd to come onto the show and, you know, say their problem, and then the panel tries to help him out. So I never watched the show before, and, you know, somehow like they gave me a call, and they're like, yeah, we found your page again. Do you want to come on the show? Because, you know, like we saw that, you know, you're an aspiring artist, and tell a bit about, you know, trying to make it and that, and the panel can help you out. And I thought, yeah, great. Like, I know who David Hughes is. Hopefully he does like a little comedy skit at the first, and then later on he helps me with the problem or something. Like, oh, you know, whoever's watching this, you know, try and give Mugzy a deal. I don't know, like something like that. And I went onto the show, and I basically got like ambushed. You know, like they're grilling into me about my clothes and like my style and stuff. And there was a guy on the panel that was called Matt O'Kine, and he works for this massive radio station over here called Triple J, but he's like an aspiring rapper on the side. And he wanted me to rap battle him, and for like 30 seconds. And the producers before the show said, yeah, you and Matt O'Kine will be rap battling each other. You know, do 30 seconds, but compliment Husey of how good of a host he is, and then the crowd compliments who got the better rhymes. And so he did this whole 30 seconds on like some TV award that he did. And then when it came to me, I kind of flipped it, you know, in a sense of compliment Husey, but come at Matt as an attack as well, kind of like bring it back to like that old vibe. And when they aired it, they made it in a way where I went first, and then like he went last. So it's kind of like I'm full attacking him, and then meanwhile, instead of him attacking me back, he's just doing this whole 30 seconds. And in the rhyme, you know, because I was just like going off the top and stuff, I totally went blank. Like, you know, there was one line I was like kind of prepping, you know, like in my head when I was leading up to it, because he's also a rapper but aspiring comedian as well, and a lot of comedians look up to Eddie Murphy's, you know, Delirious and Raw and stuff. And I saw his bio and everything, this Matt O'Kine guy, and his superstar was just wanting to be like Eddie. And I thought, why don't I use a line saying, did I destroy your credibility? Maybe because I'm as raw like Eddie Murphy. And I lost that line, and then when they aired it, they didn't cut that out. So every time, like, you know, I walk around now or something, people are like, you're the guy from the Husey show, right? I'm like, look, like I don't know if I can swear on your show, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, I'm just like, I effed up, you know, just drop it and stuff, like, you know. So to answer your question, man, sometimes, you know, like having those moments in front of the camera are pretty bad, man, you know. So in front of Australian audiences, I just, you know, canned it, man. So, you know, I mean, you to Husey in the show, pretty much.
I'm okay with my dad seeing me screw up on this, but I think there's like 6 other people who watch this. Maybe. He's counting in his head. No, that's not true.
That's not true at all, you bastard.
So you had mentioned that both those opportunities were they had found your Facebook. You kind of, what do you think the state of social media is? Is it helping? It was helping for a long time, helping people get their music out, all kinds of music. But we actually had somebody on one of our earlier shows who's been doing nothing but pretty much self promotion through social media. And I mean, he's doing his thing. So, I mean, but we're getting to a point where a lot of toxic stuff on social media. So I don't think people are going as much to that to promote themselves.
They're just trying to find new ones.
Yeah, they're trying to find new outlets. So, I mean, do you think it's the same as when you started, putting your stuff out?
Oh, no.
I mean, you're in an age where you can promote yourself like nobody's business. You don't need big companies and record labels and stuff. Once you go viral and someone catches you onto you, I mean, you can be the biggest thing. So.
Yeah, I think there's two sides to the coin of that, man. Like, you know, one, I think it's a great marketing platform for, you know, upcoming artists like myself, and that to be, you know, not signed, but, you know, like heard and their craft and that. But you know, instead of doing it, you know, the old-fashioned way before we had it, where you had to like hand out your demos and you know, do like, you know, have to show you, like, kind of like go into the public and be like, hey, like, this is my craft. And it's like, well, what do we have to fall back on? Do you have, like, you know, any following and stuff? Now you can prove you got like a fan base and a following and like a, you know, like a business in a way because you've got social media to back you up. Back then it was all like word of mouth, but the whole viral thing, man, this is what, you know, gets me. Like, it, you know, I feel that we've gone a bit too far with the whole viral sort of stuff. Like, you know, that whole cash me outside bullshit and you know,
we are embarrassed by that, and we are. I apologize personally for America. Yeah,
I'm my seed.
I'm apologizing for, you know, that being what represents our country, that getting all the way across the world, because that is some bullshit. That girl should never have been anything bigger than a guest on whatever the Dr. Phil show she was on.
We have Trump as president.
All right, easy now. Don't get me worked up.
Just say it.
Yeah, like I just feel man personally, there's so much like talent, you know, out there like that or dedicate their craft and just work like hard hours just trying to make it. And then meanwhile you got like some bratty 15-year-old arguing with her mum on TV, and everyone's like, oh, you know, make her a big superstar, and you know, like she's the now and stuff. It's like, man, what is the world coming to like sign like you know, like a bratty kid, man, and turn a blind side to like a hard dedicating working artist. And it's like, it's just the money, and it's like, well, what about back in the, you know, the 60s and stuff? Like, I was born in the 90s, man, but where, like, you know, they'll see someone like the Rolling Stones, a garage band, they're like, we want to invest money into this because they're going to be, you know, superstars or something. They don't do that anymore, man. It's like, no. You know, so, like, there'll never be, like, another Stones, man. There'll never be, because it's, I don't know, personally, it's not that method anymore. Like where's that Cash Me Outside going to be? But it's
she's like, falling fast. Don't worry, you won't be hearing much about her in the next couple months.
Exactly. You know, but people say to me like, you know, Mugzy, don't you like angry about it because, you know, she'll just drop off in the next few months and stuff. But it's kind of like that little annoyance in the meantime. You know, it's like this, you know, this big massive star like of Cash Me Outside. She's like touring and stuff. It's like, really, man. Like, I know it's gonna last a couple of months, but you're still signing this bullshit. Like get real, you know, come on, you know. And that's just me personally, man. So, like, social media can be good, it can be bad, but
that's a perfect example of the bad. I mean, you're basically throwing a bag of trash in the middle of a pool of talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't realize she had a rap album. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Who is giving her money to put out a rap album? Any album. That's the problem. That's a problem.
Wayne? Who is she rolling with?
Okay, well,
I got to remember who she's rolling with. But yeah, she has an album. You know who Little Tay is?
Yeah, man. Sadly, I do.
Didn't she just get off social media because she got called out on a bunch of fake shit?
Yeah, because her brother was feeding her lines or some shit like that. Which I don't pay attention to that. I heard about it. That's about it.
I'd never heard anything about Little Tay.
She's this little.
I know who she is. I've just never heard anything she does.
I only listened to one video because they put it on one of the podcasts that I was listening to. So talking about it, and it's just like a little 9-year-old girl running her mouth and staying around with stacks and getting all this money. Bro, if I ever saw my daughter doing that, I would.
All right,
probably
don't incriminate yourself.
I would definitely probably just. I don't think so. We ain't having that shit. Not here, dude. Like, it's just not. So being for over there, like, what do you mean? You were born in the 90s, like 91?
Yeah, 91, man. Yep.
Children. God.
Yeah. I'm 27, man. So like, I kind of missed the 90s in a way. Like speaking about you know, superheroes before, like Batman, the animated series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the morning.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. It was the times, man. I love the 90s, and yeah, like I'm grabbing all the box sets now, trying to like live my little childhood years back, you know.
We all are.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. So 91, but yeah, like, sorry, man, to cut you off. What was your question?
So I mean, so you were probably you had to be 8 when Eminem came out. I mean, Tupac and Biggie were like 6 and 5. Like, I mean.
Yeah,
Pop was out like 93 to I think like 96. So it's just So
we were just getting into music, like our own individual styles at that age, you know, and that's what was coming out around us, you know. that
Yeah,
whole
so
West Coast gangster rap. So.
Yeah, I started when
I mean,
NWA came out. But so, who were your influences when you were growing up?
well, I got into like hip hop, man, when the early thousands, man. So, when I was 14, 15, early days of high school. So, what would that have been? That would have been
I think
2003,
that
maybe.
was Cash Money was
Yeah.
coming up at that
Oh,
time.
no, no.
2003?
I mean,
Or
I
early
mean
2000s.
the three horsemen,
Oh.
man, like Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Eminem, like when
Yeah.
they were like the skyrocketing at the time. To be honest, man, it sounds funny. Like obviously when 8 Mile came out, I was like the typical cliche white boy from the suburbs, which wanted to,
Yes, that's my
yeah,
life. What are you looking at me
yeah,
for?
I did the whole Wigger act back in the day, man, and I like did the whole like dropping down rhymes in my workbook and everything, like Malibu's Most Wanted. Yeah, like then, like I just, me personally, man, like I wanted to just study this culture and stuff, like when I was, brought up in, '77 with the block parties and stuff, and then obviously they were so, like Curtis Blow and Grandmaster Caz and Grandmaster Flash, and then you had like the hard style, which was Run DMC and that, and then like led on to me as a teenager of the early thousands and to where it is now, and I really took it serious of really trying to like rhyme and drop down like words and all that sort of stuff, and I started going to like open mics and finding like the Australian culture over here of like more older guys and more like talented guys than I was when I was 14, man, and yeah, like the rest is history, man. I just like I work really hard for it, and a lot of people know me now is like like a encyclopedia for hip hop now. Like they're just like, hey, if we need something hip hop, like Mugsy's the go-to guy. So I guess it's kind of paid off in a way. But yeah, like it sounds cliche, man. Obviously, I grew up with like Eminem and stuff, being the whole white boy thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had like Third Base and Beastie Boys and House of Pain and stuff. But I don't think like personally me, I don't think they made like the big impact that M did when he crashed onto the scene, man. So yeah, like that's just me from across the globe, man.
So crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah,
Crazy.
like I have to say, man, I'm surprised I didn't get my head punched in. Like honestly, man, I 14, I was full like wiggled out, man. Like I was just. If I had a picture of it, I could show you guys, but I think I like deleted my MySpace.
You don't want to look at those.
No.
I have similar pictures. During the mid 2000s, I did a brief stint. I mean, I've always been a fan of hip hop in that culture since the
You're my
early
hip-hop
90s. Yeah, since the early 90s when like NWA came out, Public Enemy. Not that I knew exactly what they were going through. But coming from like a broken home, just a lot of bullshit at home. Like I felt the anger that they felt, and I was living on the west of the U.S. So when like all that shit was going down in L.A., the riots and stuff like that, it's like, you start to look at these people like, what the fuck? Like this, why are we treating these people bad? Like what is going on? The stuff that happened to the Native Americans that was in school more, like you start to pick up on that. So during the early 2000s, I did a little stint, 2 years, opened up for Capadonna at a club, and then that was it. That was my one highlight freestyle session on the front sidewalk. Was the only person in the cipher to get him to bob his head. We got invited to New York, and the team didn't want to do it, so I didn't do it. And I was like, shit, I should have done it. Just one of those things. Always take opportunities when they knock. Don't look it down.
Oh yeah, like that's crazy you say it, man, because like that's what I do all the time. I get hit up all the time with like an artist saying, hey, check out my work or check out my SoundCloud and stuff, or will you be willing to share this or jump on this and stuff? And I'm always saying yes, because you never know what it leads to. Which leads me on to my next point, man. Here and in Australia, we love hip hop culture, man. like whatever new comes out about the culture, we attach ourselves to it. But there's so much like ego over here in a sense where it's sort of like if you're not with our crew, or we've never heard of you before, like would give us a reason why we should, like fuck with you kind of thing, or you send them your SoundCloud link or your Reverb, and it's like, it's not up to, it's not up to date, so I'm not going to play it on my station. Like it's weird, man. It's like there's so much love for the culture, like as a whole, but connecting and networking as artists and stuff, man, there's all these like nitpicky kind of like rules where it's like, oh, you got to be with us, or you got to have this, like, you got to tweak this, and it's kind of like, man, like, and then they come to me like later on, they're like, Mugzy, how do you have so many radio play and interviews with like the UK and the States? And I'm like, man, because like those guys don't like give a fuck, man. They just take anything that they can get, like, to network and stuff. And it's like, oh, so you're saying Australia's bad and stuff? I'm like, well, man, like, pick your game up, just like what, like, honestly, it doesn't matter to me if an artist has bad quality beats, but his rhymes are like sick or something. If he's just, me personally, if he's just got that dream, man, to push himself to 110 limit and be like, I don't care what people say, I'm just going to go out there, man. Like, that gives me a good enough reason to, give him a chance to work with him and stuff. And, like, I just wish Oz would think more like that in their current hip-hop game, me personally, man. So, yeah, it would give us more of a face on the map if we thought that way, instead of being so, yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of ego here, too, where you see different artists, especially now because of the internet. Everybody has that platform and to apply or try to do something, and where some people like us, like, if people want to come on, man, I don't give a shit. Like,
we like to talk to people.
That's why we're here, is to talk to people, to network, to grow, to branch out, to I think our philosophy is, was it rising tide raises all boats? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a crab in a bucket.
I thought it was this could get weird.
Well, that too, yeah. That's definitely part of it. But you get that crab in a bucket mentality where you're trying to get to the top, so you're pushing everybody down. When in fact, like, if you build that team, that following, because they're gonna help you out when you're like, oh, yo, check this shit out, and they'll be like, all right, and then they share it, and you never know, by some strange happening, you helped them once 5 months ago, and then they've grown a little bit more success, so now they're just helping you out in return.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. A perfect example in my career was I think in 2016 there was this hip hop dance crew called D2MG, and they were at one of our universities here in Australia called University of New South Wales, and I randomly found their blog. I think I was just searching up like hip hop blogs and stuff on the internet, and they said, yeah, we're a dance crew as well, and our blog's like kind of starting off, but we've seen your movement and stuff. Can you try and they kind of made me feel like a superstar sort of thing, because they said to me, they're like, can you come on our blog because we know what you've done and that, but you don't have to come on. And I said, look, like, don't pull the whole superstar act with me, like, it doesn't even matter, And then later on, when I did that like little interview blog with them, and had a chat and just a conversation later on, they wanted they were handing out petition flyers and stuff at their uni and saying, hey, we want to learn, we know about the dance part element, the b-boying of hip hop culture, but we don't know about the rapping sort of side, and structuring a song in that. We'll try and get some like hip hop artists to come in and teach, like, how to do that, and they're handing out petitions and stuff, sign your name down if you want to come to this class or stuff, and we'll hand it to our headmasters and see if they'll pass it. And then randomly I got a call, and they're like, yeah, Mugzy, can you come down like for a few months or something and teach hip hop to like a class of like 30 students or something, like for a few months? And I was like, I've never been to university before, I never had the good grades,
and now you're teaching.
Yeah, and now like for a few months, like I'm standing in front of a class, like teaching a culture, like that I love and that. So just from that little blog, I'm not having no one kind of, like, I guess give him a shot sort of thing. And then it's like, yeah, man, just jump me on. Later on, it's like, holy crap, it's just like, I've got friends that study all these different, subjects, and they're trying to be lecturers. And it's like, I've just freewayed myself through, man, and just be like, yeah, well, hey man, I beat you to it without no grades, Yeah. So just a bottle of alcohol, Yeah.
So I want to ask you something. I know this is going to sound roundabout, but do you know who Donald Glover is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just realized or just figured out because I'd never really seen him in anything. I know he was in that show Atlanta, I believe.
Yeah, it's his show.
And then I found out that he's also a DJ.
Yeah,
he's
Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. Didn't realize that either. I mean, I saw him in that This Is America video, and I recognized him, and I was like, wait a minute.
For real, did I know?
Yeah, because I don't listen to a lot of the stuff that's out right now. Like Childish Gambino is one of the few that I'm listening to. So my point to that is, last night I'm scrolling through Netflix and I found out he has a stand-up comedy thing. Have you seen it? Okay, this dude's fucking hilarious, and he does a whole thing on the history of rap music. And so if you haven't seen his stand-up, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to try and tell his jokes because it was funny. This shit was funny. But he does a whole little thing on the history of hip-hop, and it is good. It's funny. I didn't realize he was like all of those things. I mean, I'd never even... I don't listen to like a lot of that new stuff, like mumble rap. Like,
no, but he's not though.
No, I know he's not. But
This Is
that's
America.
why I like him.
This Is America. That was like his first like real trap music that he's done. His other stuff is not like that.
No,
at
it's
all.
not. It's got like a funk feel for the most part. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to bring that up because you got to watch that. But that's like the. I'm hoping that's kind of where the climate of of that style of music is going, because I'm not gonna lie, 3 to 5 years ago I'm kind of tapping out on what was out there. Like there was nothing
you gotta stop listening to the radio.
I don't listen to the radio
and find the other shit.
I don't listen to the radio. It's nothing but streaming anything. That's all I listen to. If it comes on Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, if it comes on any of those because of something I already like, then I'm gonna listen to it. But most of the stuff that comes out that's new.
What do you put in for the station, man?
Dr. Dre, Eminem, Tech 9, Royce, along those same lines. Afro Man. Yeah, see? You got it. Afro Man. You know he's coming out with a new album?
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not lying.
Like going back to Palmdale or something?
Yep.
Must need money.
Yeah, he probably does. He's old too, man.
God, dude, that'd be like Coolio trying to rap.
Look it up. Did you see Coolio recently in his court?
With his two fucking
horns? His two little braids.
Dude need to give it up.
Give it up.
Jesus.
Wow. Looks like a pop plant, man. Yeah.
It's so crazy that, like...
I know I feel don't get me wrong, I feel stupid about not knowing that. But I don't watch Atlanta.
Not me.
I barely knew anything about him anyways. The only thing I knew, like I knew Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
I've listened to him
for a long time too.
Yeah, see, I didn't know any of that. I don't really pay attention. I never really came across my radar. I got 2 young kids, man. I listen to a bunch of shit music all the time. Well, I shouldn't say that. My oldest likes good music, but
that's why you give them tablets and headphones so you can listen to your shit. Because that's
a life tip right there.
If your kid, man's walking to the CD shop or whatever the case may be, and it's like, well, what are you going to go buy today? And he's like, oh, I'm going to go buy a Lil Xan's new album. Smack him across the head and say, go purchase a Rakim album. And
is that Skittlemouth?
No.
Yeah.
Oh. It is?
Yeah.
It is? Oh. Yeah.
Xan's a Skittlemouth?
Skittlemouth. The dude with the tattoo, the face tattoos.
That's Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Okay, well, any of them. With the face tattoos and the Xanax and the Skittlemouth, like...
And the mop.
I'm not listening to any of that.
Not me neither.
I didn't even know that was real music at first.
It's not.
Some of the beats are good.
Don't you feel like the old man, though, telling music back in my day? Like, that's what our parents used to say to us, especially when, like, hip-hop came out. You know, you're playing, like, Dr. Dre, The Chronic or Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, and your parents are like, what the hell is this? Like, back in my day, music meant something. We had all these feelings, and now, like, that shit comes on the radio. Lil Xan's, Lil Pump, Tekashi 6ix9ine, all this, like, mumble rap. Just words. They're just words. Designer, whatever happened to that guy? Like, they just
Snoop Dogg put it the best way.
Repeating the same words, the same style. So now we're that old man, the old people telling the kids, like, back in my day, music had meaning, had words.
But yeah, like, in saying that, man, I feel there's got to be a skill level and like a talent, man. Like, that's what hip hop was brought up on, to bring your skill level. And like, obviously, I was a young kid getting into it. I think, did you say, man, like the early 90s, like you were young, and it's kind of like this young kind of generation to build up to their adulthood. But I feel, man, like the whole mumble rap thing, it's like, and then claiming like you're a rapper, it's like, yeah, I can flow and stuff, and it's like, flow? What are you talking about? Like, man, like I mumble in my sleep. Like I've heard I talk in my sleep. That could like be basically a track.
Throw a nice beat on it.
Yeah, like, see, that's just borderline ridiculous, man, to me. Like, I mean, I guess I am considered like an old guy. Maybe I'm stuck in my ways, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like sometimes the teenagers who recognize my face, at the shopping center or just when I'm walking around stuff, they're like, "You're Mugzy, right?" And it's like, "Hey, have you listened to Tekashi 6ix9ine?" And it's like, no, I pull out my iPod, I'm like, no, I'm listening to still Illmatic or something. It's just like I don't listen to, like, I gave it a shot and it's just garbage to me, man. Like, it's I like to hear a message or just hear those lyrics where you crunch your face up and you're just like, oh, rewind that back, like what did he say right there? You can't get that now. It's just, I feel my IQ is lowering when I listen to, like, these new kids, man. I feel dumb, like, I just feel,
I know
man,
what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, that was always the culture
like,
of
I need
the
an
music.
education after watching this. That's what I personally think.
That was always the culture of the music. It started off with a message. Like, that was
why,
and it's always been that way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Throughout the 90s, there were definitely the first two albums I ever bought with my own money were Doggy Style and The Chronic. Like, I spent my own money. Those were the two first things I ever bought. First CDs I ever bought. I got a boombox for my birthday. Boom, I went out and bought the CDs. That was back before they, told you couldn't before you were 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
What is this, explicit lyrics? No, don't worry about it. You can buy it. You don't need your mom. Beauty of military bases.
Did you have like the whole Kangaroo hat on, man? Like, you
know what?
Cool J stuff?
I didn't. I did go through a phase where, because I lived in middle America. I lived in the Midwest. It was, I was living in Oklahoma when I first got into, like, music for myself. And I mean, I've always listened to music, but a lot of the stuff I used to listen to was, Otis Redding. Like, that was what was always flowing through my house, was either old blues and Motown or classic rock. Like, that was always what was playing in my house. So when I finally discovered my own tasting stuff and kind of music and something that really grabbed me for my generation, that's what it was. And I mean, I don't think I went over the top.
Well,
my dad will probably tell you different.
He had a yellow visor on.
That was when I moved.
That
up
was
here.
like the big thing here when it was like what, mid 90s here.
Yeah, that was the fashion trends.
Everybody wore visors. So it was all like either the Kangol visor or the Nike visor. He had a yellow one.
Well,
like, you had friends.
You got to preface
had, like,
that because everybody in the crew had a different color.
Yeah, it was all, everybody had different colors. It was like a bunch of fucking Power Rangers running around, and that's how you knew who they were.
Put us together, we look like a bag of Skittles.
Man, the visors. God damn. I think I had an orange one back in the day. I think I've still got pictures of it, and I'm like, what was I doing, man?
I showed up to the group of friends late, so there wasn't a lot of colors left to pick from. Yeah. So it was like either pink or like yellow, maybe baby blue. That was about it.
Yeah,
so you're practically the girl Power Ranger, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pink one. Yeah.
That is a fair assessment.
I did have
crush, man. Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, like in little, primary school.
The
we call it primary
original,
school.
the
They used to have
original
a
Pink
crush,
Ranger
the Pink
was.
Ranger.
Yeah.
My kid's into the Rangers now. Like she watches
Like
Power
from the
Rangers
movie
nonstop.
or
She'll
from,
watch.
like, the-
Oh no, from the newest show. I guess it's on Netflix. She watched like one show. She started back as far as they would go.
Damn.
So she's like ripping through like 7 seasons of Power Rangers right now.
Oh, congrats to her, man! Like I remember looking up to the Black Ranger, man. The original one. Like Zach, he used to do the hip hop dancing, and
Yeah.
I met Walter Emmanuel Jones, the actor who plays him in
shit.
2005, and literally, man, like we were just chatting it up for like maybe half an hour or so, because he was doing a tour with the original red one, and I literally went back to my 4-year-old self, man. I couldn't even talk. Like it was kind of like meeting royalty in a way, man. I was like, oh my god, I grew up with you, and like I wanted to be you as a kid and stuff. And he was like, yeah, cool, man, cool. And it was kind of like meeting the Queen in a way, man. It was just like I didn't want to like leave him. They probably had to get security. So yeah, like that was probably one of my highlights of who I've met throughout the way. Even though my brother was like, he's only done like when I went up to him later on, because we sometimes go to the Comic-Con expos over here, and it's like he's only done Power Rangers. Like he's basically like like a nobody. Sorry to Walter if he's watching.
That was his brother who said that, not him.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, he is. You don't know what he's had on my childhood right here. Like who I've just met. Like I thought I would meet him. Yeah, so that was a funny moment. Hopefully he comes back. So it'd be like, you remember me? What we had.
He says it was a half-hour conversation. It was 5 minutes, and then 25 minutes of him trying to get away. Like, no, come back, take selfies with me. That's awesome. Yeah, no, she's into the old school stuff. Like she likes Voltron. Obviously, it's the updated versions, but she watches Voltron. She'll watch like all the stuff I watched when I was a kid, but just the rebooted versions of it.
They have She-Ra on Netflix.
Do they?
Yeah, because I watched
Has it come out yet?
Yeah, I watched
What's
it
the new
with
one they're
mine. She-Ra.
Is it? It's already started?
No, but allegedly, I don't know. I heard it somewhere.
I'm not happy about the Thundercats reboot.
The Thundercats 4, it depends. If it's like if it's like Teen Titans Go, it's all right, dude. Teen Titans Go is some pretty funny shit. Not as good as the original that they had it, but it's a lot of good Easter egg references. Like there's a lot of adult humor in it. It's not as bad as
there were social injustices going on in the original Thundercats. They were addressing issues of the day back then.
That's what cartoons were back then. None of the
they're just
cartoons.
making shit funny.
Right.
Everything's funny.
Yes. Although, dude, I can show you some shit if you ever want to see some fucked up shit that actually has a message. Look for on YouTube. Don't hug me. I'm scared. Dog, it is. I am telling you, like. Don't take acid and watch this, but it is like fucked up, but it has a message if you look past the fucked up shit that's happening on the screen. Like
when there's fucked up shit, you can find a message in anything.
No, there really is though. It's weird.
How late were you staying up when you watched this?
Actually, my son showed it to me, and at first I was hesitant because the title "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna watch this shit, man. I don't know what the fuck you finding on YouTube, but I ain't about to watch it. So then I got high, and I'm like, what was that thing you were trying to show me? Just show it on, and he put it on. I'm like, dude, what is going on right now? And I'm like, all right, hold on. And then you start to get the message, and I'm like, huh. I like it. It's weird. It's deep, but it is fucked up. Like you're like,
and your son is watching this.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Parent of the year.
Just don't. No, it was. Don't show your sister
or your mom.
Yeah, don't let mom know that we watch. Well, I already fucked that one up with Coraline.
That's right. You scared the shit out of your kid with Coraline.
You know what Coraline is?
No,
it's
man.
It was a movie from what there. Mid 2000s.
Mid 2000s. It was like almost like a Tim Burton-esque Nightmare Before Christmas. It was like that computer animation, but look stop animation, or it was stop animation.
Yeah.
And it was about this
Before Christmas.
Yeah, not that, but it's almost like that same style. And it was about this little girl, and her family moves from like the city to this one house, and it gets a little dark and twisted. The house is haunted. And I'm watching it with my daughter who's 6, and she pops up and she goes, "I don't have nightmares." And I go, Nah, you'll be all right. So we made her watch the whole thing.
She's crying and rocking in the corner of the couch, and you're like, "Get through it. You'll be fine. Power through."
Suck it up, pussy. So her mom's out. They put her to bed. She wakes up a couple times, but for like 2 weeks straight, it was.
And being a heavy sleeper,
nightmares.
you didn't get up.
Oh hell no! I sleep right through. I don't hear that shit. But yeah, I definitely. You know, there was like that crossroad moment where it's like, I'm gonna have nightmares. Man, what you know? You ain't gonna have no nightmares. You'll be all right.
I need to go to my safe space.
Yeah.
I got the funniest, like, poor her, man. I got a similar story when I was her age of 6, man. Like, this is before DVDs and like we had VHS, and I don't know how, like, I got this VHS, or if like my parents stupidly got it, or I got it. I don't know. It's so long ago, but I remember getting Scream, Wes Craven's Scream, the first one on VHS, and I had like an old friend called Jake, and like he used to come over and like, you know, like that sounds really wrong, you know, but you know, sleepovers and stuff, and I'm like, I got to show you this, you know, this horror movie Scream, and like as a young kid, you thought, oh, being watching horrors and stuff behind your parents' back is like a big, you know, no and stuff, and it got to literally the first scene where Drew Barrymore gets like gutted and, you know, hung from the tree and stuff, and he was so petrified that like. He tried, you know, it was late at night and he tried to call his mum, and she was probably out, but she, you know, redialed the call to like, you know, call the number back, and we're creeping back, you know, back to our rooms in the dark and stuff, and the phone buzzed because she was recalling, you know, tracing the call back, and we thought it was the killer on the thing, and we're in that little Power Ranger pajamas, and we literally wet our pants, squealing my parents up, you know, because we just thought, like, you know, the killer's coming after us and stuff. So yeah, like that was probably one of my highlights of seeing, and it's one of my favorite horror movies, man. I love the Scream franchise, except for Scream 4, I think it was. That was just plain garbage, man. But
was that the one Marlon Wayans was in? Or was
that's
scary movie.
That's scary movie, bro.
Okay.
That's...
I thought at that point they just like changed the name. I think
but that's because we were older, though. You got to look at it. If you were a kid watching that, it might be different than we were already. What was that? That was like late '90s, so we're already teenagers. You know what I mean? Like it's.
There's only 2 horror movies that have actually scared me. Like and one was, I'm pretty sure. Dad, don't get mad if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure my dad showed me Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was probably around 7 or 8 years old, and that movie fucked me up for a little while. And the other one was I Spit on Your Grave. That one, that one's fucked up. It's more of a adult horror movie, but that one fucked me up too. Like that one messed me up. Every time I saw a woman, what's that?
The original Spit on Your Grave or the remake one?
The original one. I don't know if the original one I saw was made in like 2010 maybe. I don't know if that was the updated version or not, or if there was one like earlier.
As eyeballs, is that the one? Do you remember that scene?
It was the one, the tub scene.
Yeah, that's the remake.
Yeah, okay, man. So that one was the one that fucked me all up. That movie was like, I can't. I'm trying. I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it. Like this is fucked up shit. Like that movie messed me up for a few days.
Mine was Ghostbusters.
It can't be as worse as Human Centipede. Now, what was I thinking watching that? Like, come on.
I'll be honest, I didn't make it all the way through that.
I've never even decided to watch it. What the fuck do I want to watch a bunch of people strapped to each other's asses, dude? Fuck that.
It wasn't scary to me.
It was just TV. It's not scary. It's fucking who wants to watch that shit? It's just gore.
I'm pretty sure about the 15 to 17 minute mark in where they start like really showing the gory shit, I started like dry heaving. And it wasn't because I was scared. It was just because I was messed up. That was gross. Like that is just nasty shit in that movie.
Oh yeah, it just shows like how twisted like that director's fetishes are and everything.
Oh yeah, you get to see deep into his soul with that movie.
Yeah, just a good excuse to like try and go to those, you know, like those meetings and say, yeah, let's shit in people's mouths and stuff. It's like, dude, do you have like a weird fetish or something? It's like, no, I don't. You know.
But I'm making a sequel.
Yeah, he is.
No, he already made it. There was a 2 and I think a 3, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know if there was a 3, but I'm pretty sure there was a 2.
Ghostbusters.
There was 3, man. Yep, I'm a creep, man. I saw 3 and I was in a prison. Yeah.
You saw... Wait, Ghostbusters fucked you up?
Yeah, the first one.
There is nothing scary about Dan Aykroyd.
No, hell no. After Rick Moranis turns into that dog demon.
Yeah.
I'd already been bit by a dog. Like, so when that dude turned into that dog, started chasing him, I fucking bugged out. I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit. Like, it took me forever to go watch that movie again. Like, I fuck that. Oh, that dog's coming on? I'm not looking.
I know you're in your 30s and you still can't watch it all the way through.
Let me know when that part's over.
I just don't want to see the dog.
Let me know. I'm all set.
I reckon one that got me, good man, did this before social media, was Blair Witch Project. Everyone thought that those people, the first ever handheld camera film, and like everyone thought when they saw that film, they're dead. That is literally police footage right there. You know, those people like got attacked in the woods, and I think I was a kid seeing that. That came out in '99 or something, and you know, like my dad rented it on VHS, and I sat down and watched it with him, and I was literally petrified. And I didn't want to go to a park or, you know, go play in the woods or anything. I thought, yep, I'm gonna get attacked by something. So yeah, that's one that got me. Blair Witch Project. That was a good film. I like watching that. You know.
Yeah, well, especially in Australia, you get all them fucking animals that could kill you for real. Like fuck that shit.
Out in the woods.
Yeah.
I remember after watching Spit on Your Grave for like a week, every time I saw a woman driving by herself, I was like, don't you stop nowhere. Just go straight to wherever it is you're going. Do not stop at any gas stations, nothing. Just keep driving. You'll be all right.
Let me ask you this. Kangaroos really that yoked in them videos?
Yes.
Oh, the fighting ones, man, like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, where I'm located, man, you know, there's not really like a lot of kangaroos. That's more like in the center, like the middle of Australia, like Ayers Rock, and all that. So we call it the outback. You know, it's like kind of country. That's like Paul Hogan style that you see in Crocodile Dundee. Mine's more, like, what would I say? My area's kind of like your guys, Miami, I suppose, sort of like that. You know, so like, you know, a few weeks ago, I was driving back from the shops, like, and I saw a kangaroo on the side of the road just standing there, and I even got shocked. And I'm Australian, man. You know, like, it's like, oh my god, like, what's a kangaroo doing in, you know, New South Wales? Like, what's going on here? I pulled around and hopped away, and I was just like, that is so cool. Like,
drives by slow, motherfucker does a peck flex at him. Yeah. Like, what are you staring at? No, those videos are crazy, man.
The only other thing that I've heard that that you guys hunt feral cats. Like, there's hunting.
Don't say you guys, because then you're generalizing. It happens in Australia.
Yeah, it's legal.
There you go.
There's magazines with guys holding up not
house cats,
but yeah, they can. You're allowed, because they're a nuisance animal. That thank you.
Are there like
a problem there?
Are there like magazines where they're doing like trophy house cats and like, I shot this motherfucker in the bathroom?
That's what I've heard.
All right. Well, he's like,
no, I'm just feral cats.
Maybe not. I wouldn't even know if you call them feral. They're just cats. Like you have like small cats, which most of us here have in the house until they just leave them out on the street and you get all them strays.
Or try.
Spade and neuter your animals.
Yeah, like we I haven't heard much about that. Like even in like if something like that happens, I'm suppose it would happen in some suburbs and stuff, but like where I am, it doesn't, and it'll be broadcast on the news if it did. But really, man, all we're broadcasting over here is like the friggin' royal wedding or the Harvey Weinstein case. That's the only two things that kept going on. So like anything else, it's very rare. Like I even know about it, man. I'm
a little uncomfortable that those two things were put together.
The Royals are shady people.
Okay, I don't know what don't get me started on America's obsession with the Royals. We fought to break away from them, and now we're obsessed with their life.
That's because they really own us.
Do they?
They're one of the bankers.
The bankers?
Yeah.
Don't drop into no conspiracy stuff. We'll go down a rabbit hole.
Sorry to all the people watching this, loving the Royals and stuff, but like, personally, if I'm at the Queen, like I wouldn't even give a shit. It's just like, you know, it's like going to like a retirement home and just seeing the old ladies there. Like, Just be, I'd rather see Walter Jones again, who played as the Power Rangers man, rather than her. You know, it's just yeah, it just sits there, man. Like that, you know. I reckon I'm gonna be beheaded for like saying that, but you know, come after me.
That's They're still tied to them.
You see the picture of the Queen giving her the stink eye?
Who's that? Meghan Markle?
Yeah, while she's walking down. There's a picture of them walking down the aisle, and they caught it just at the right angle where you see like Harry and Meghan like kind of in the foreground, but in the background is the Queen, and she's just stink eyeing her. It's a great picture. The memes are amazing.
That's so weird. She was on the only thing I know about that Meghan Markle girl is that she was on a TV show that I used to whatever.
She
was on a TV show that I used to watch called Suits that was on USA, and then I stopped watching it. I don't have cable, so I stream Netflix or Hulu or watch YouTube majority of the time, and then all of a sudden on the news when I was checking online, she's getting engaged to Prince Harry. And it's like, what the fuck? How the hell does this happen? I would have said I do.
Would you?
To Prince Harry?
Yeah.
Out of all of them, yeah. He's the fun one.
Yeah, fair enough.
She's kind of fucked herself in a way, man. Like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, I want that, you know, Prince Harry and stuff, and it's like now you have to have a structured kind of life now, which Diana had, and now if you leave him like you do with the other two husbands or something with the wedding ring, you're gonna be like the hatest woman on the planet, man. Except for
you can't do Harry dirty.
Yeah, so it's like I'm winning. It's like, well, no, you're really not. You're now really, you know, the queen's you know, looking over you. And hey, Carmela set up Diana, you know. Yeah, she assassinated Diana. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. What's the just kind of curious, like what's this kind of social climate down there? Do you guys get a lot of what's going on down here? I don't want to say that because then it makes it seem like they're like isolated, because they're not, but they're on the other side of the world. But do you get a lot of what's going on here?
Or are they?
Like with the Trump shit and, you know, just kind of the whole social...
Trump, yes, of course. But I don't know, give me some other ones. Like that's really the only one. Like the biggest ones would just be right now Harvey Weinstein and Trump. Like they're the only two that, you know, if you have any other stuff that are going on, no, we don't really.
Like right now, a lot of social issues going on in the country have to do with school shootings, gun control. Like these are the big battles. Like we're having a ton of school shootings going on right now, which is unfortunate, but that's like the big kind of thing that's going on around here. So I didn't know if that was like a...
Oh yeah, we know about that. Like we're like our, you know, like policies or whatever people are focusing on are more like the, you know, foreigners sort of coming into our shores and sort of stuff. Like the government is worried about them coming in and buying up all the Australian businesses and then kicking the Australian workers out. So the work, you know, like they become out of work or buying their houses and their properties and stuff because they have the money from the rich families, you know, coming over here and buying all the properties and, you know, Indians, Asians, all that sort of stuff. So that's... it probably sounds to me being a bit bitter. I don't know much about it. I'm just looking in from a, you know, rear side view. But yeah, that's what the government's worried about, that they've let too many in, and now it's like they're building all these their own businesses. It's like, oh crap, now the Australians are going on. You guys call it welfare over there. We call it Centrelink, where the government's giving them most, because it's kind of like crap. Like, you know, they're kicking them out of their thing because they can't have the funds and the money to buy their businesses. If that makes sense, man.
Oh yeah, no, we kind of deal with a lot of stuff similar, especially with China on the West Coast, and I think in like New York and the bigger cities, they've bought a lot, and they in California they own a lot of real estate, and I mean, Mexico's a non-going thing whether we should build a wall, because they, in a way, they almost make you fear.
No, I'm pretty sure Mexico is not on board with the wall.
No, they're not.
Really a debate for them.
No, but we're led to believe that, yes, illegal immigration's a problem, but a lot of those people coming over aren't the ones that are hurting you. It's the other ones that are coming here, buying up the businesses, the corporations that come and settle in, lower prices to close your building, and then end up putting, such as Amazon. I mean, they basically shut down all our bookstores because Amazon, I still use Amazon Prime, I'm not saying, but then they are now putting up brick and mortar bookstores as much as their thing where they had moved into and closed down a Borders or a Barnes and Nobles or whatever type of bookstore that whatever you have over there. Like, they would move in, lower their tax rate by getting involved and paying off whoever, lower their tax rate, that they're not paying taxes, this guy has to, you're paying more for it, so they'd close down. And now Amazon is now, all right, well, I'm going to build a bookstore after so many years. It's a weird cycle that we go through, or that we're led to believe that it's a lot of the illegals when it's really corporations that move in and fuck with your from above. They're in a position of power because they have the money to do that type of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting for us to kind of get a perspective of, again, someone who's not around here and the things that you
14 hours ahead.
Yeah, you may or may not hear about what goes on here, and then maybe just the it was kind of leading into what inspires you in your personal life and the things that happen around where you're living, just to kind of get you going in your music, what fuels the things that you want to say and do. And I gotta ask, do you do the beats on your tracks?
Personally, man, I don't. I got my own producer. Like, I tip my hat off, man, to like anyone that knows how to do producing or beat making, man, because it's a whole different ball game.
Yes.
Like, I've tried it. I've tried to dabble in it before, man. But I just don't have the patience. Like, literally, man, if I ever stuff up with my computer, it's like, oh, you have to update this or something. I lose my shit, man. I just don't have the patience with it. Just, like, sign me up to like Facebook or YouTube, and that's it. Don't give me this whole prompts thing. So, when like I open up Pro Tools and it's like, you got to open up this or you got to open up this new tab, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not relaxed with it at all. So yeah, he makes the beats, man, and excuse me, I just write the melodies and the chorus and the song basically, and he's really good, man. Because it's, I met him, his name's Pablo, he's from New Zealand, which is like another country like on the outskirts of Australia. He met me at a youth center gig, and he's like, I've got a home studio, I want to do an album with you and stuff. And I like, a lot of studios just cost a fortune for bloody recording time here. It's like, like if you want a good studio to record you, it's probably like maybe like $400 to $500 for like 3 hours, man. Like, damn. Legit.
Yeah, like, it's expensive.
And it's kind of like, man, like I don't have that money, so it's very hard to find, studios. And he was doing, I think if you had the beat ready with you, like a sample or something, it was like 100 with splash with mix and mastering. But if we had to start from scratch, it was just an extra $50, which was just like holy fuck, So yeah, like, and it was good. It wasn't an in and out process where it's like, all right, we do this, all right, get out. It was like we actually had a friendship and stuff, and he kind of saw the concept I was going with. Like, it wasn't just like, here's a beat, rap to it. It was kind of like I would have my lyrics and come in, and for example, a track like Understand Me, it'd be like, all right, this is understanding like how I got into hip hop, and just because like I'm not like the stereotype, which like the wannabe white boy who wants to do like rapping and stuff. Like, I'm really dedicated to my craft. And he's like, all right, so you want sort of like a Eminem, the way I feel. The way I am, kind of be like a storytelling track. It's not just gonna pull up a party track and like say rap to this, because it wouldn't make sense, So right. Yeah, he really knew the structure of through the lyrics of what beat to carve out through it, and I really hope to get him on the third album for sure. So yeah, he just lives like 15 to 20 minutes away from me, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which when I first met him, I thought, yeah, this guy's going to be in Sydney or something, like a few hours. But he's like, I'm just around the corner. I'm like, how are we meeting right now? What the hell's going on? You know? So yeah, man.
Sweet.
You
Why
looking-
you tell everybody where they can find you? Let everybody know where to come look for you so they can hear your music, see the documentary when it comes out.
Sure, man. Yeah. So my number one, firstly, man, I want to give a shout. Thanks to you guys, man, for hitting this up. Like, this was so many laughs and so much fun, man, and crazy ass stories. And hopefully, I wasn't rambling on too long. So, firstly, I want to give a shout out to you, man, and wish you all the best for future guests that come on and everything. But my number one platform I use is just go to Facebook, type in Mugzy, Mugzy. But to you guys, it's Mugzy. Yeah, and that there has everything. It's got like my band profile attached, updates, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all attached to the one. So saves you searching it individually, and that's where you'll be able to find the Husey episode, which almost destroyed me.
which
The
I'm gonna
link's
check
up-
out.
Yeah, the link's up there somewhere. And the documentary, which will hopefully be at the the end of the year or something. But yeah, type in Mugzy on Facebook, and that's where you'll be able to find me, man, for sure.
Awesome.
Definitely
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna stop the audio version right there. If you're still want to kick it, we can keep going on the live stream for a little bit. It's up to you. I don't want to hold you up.
Hey, man, I ain't got nothing planned until like the next few hours, man. So it's up to you guys, man.
It's starting to
it's-
get hot. He's got to
it's
make sure
Thursday.
the snakes.
No, it's winter there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Sorry.
Don't forget offcolordiscussions.blueberry.net. Subscribe to the podcast. Find us on iTunes, YouTube as we climb towards that 100. Last time I looked,
saw
we
you
were
went
at
up a couple.
71.
70. Oh, so you went up quite a bit.
Oh hell yeah, man! I'm pumping this shit out, bro.
I know.
I am not live
tweeting
streaming,
everybody.
sir. I'm tweeting everybody. I tweet Sam Tripoli, Joe Rogan. I'm gonna tweet them all. Kevin Smith. I don't care.
What are we
Jocko Willink.
You think you're gonna get there by the end of June?
Yes, just to spite you.
Just to spite me.
Just
All
to
right.
spite you. I am gonna get to 100 before the end of June. Otherwise, we have to take a break from live streaming. So tell all your friends. Let everybody know. Subscribe to this channel. They don't have to watch this shit. Just
subscribe,
Just subscribe so I can keep it going for a little bit longer. Mugzy, we appreciate you guys coming on. We end the audio right there.
And now the live stream still continues.
Still
All right.
live streaming and continue.
Now you can start. Now you can ask him about the flat Earth thing.
Yeah, do you know flat Earth theory? Do you
Never heard
are
of
people
it, man.
dumb over there? So
No.
I don't know how it got started back up again. I think it was something to do with like a Reddit post, and there are legitimately people that feel that this world is flat because a lot of it has to do with NASA. You know what NASA is?
Yeah, of
Right.
course, man. Moon landing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the conspiracy behind if it was even real or if we faked it.
Yeah.
NASA was started by German scientists that we brought over after World War II. These Nazi scientists are basically running NASA. So now all of a sudden it's the Earth is flat. That we live in a giant dome. We're the only one that's flat because they can see the other ones. There's theories that the moon is hollow or the Earth might be hollow also. That's another one. It's either round and hollow or it's flat. But yeah, there was one. I was listening to a podcast, which I'll shout them out. It's a hashtag no offense. And they were talking about a flat Earth conspiracy that Australia doesn't exist. That it's the British, instead of taking prisoners over back in the day, they just sunk the boats and that was it. That when you go to Australia, and not in air quotes, but in air quotes, you go to some other island, but it's not where you think it is. It's much closer. Like it's not 14 hours away, which it obviously is. So
That is really weird, man, because I've never heard of that before. A closer country that's not closer than Australia. Nope. I can't even answer that question for you, man. Like,
So he's never heard this
Australia
stupid
doesn't
theory.
exist.
So maybe Chris is
Straight
full of shit.
So how do I exist, man? Like,
Did Chris just set you up and embarrass you?
nah, man, like that was like some
Stupid stuff.
yeah, like conspiracies and Stephen Hawking's kind of stuff right there, man. Australia doesn't exist. Yeah,
I told you we get weird on this show sometimes.
Oh no, that was awesome, man. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of this country that's closer than Australia that makes this country think that it's Australia.
I'm pretty sure just people are dumb. Like, and then it's blown up to be such a thing. Like, if you go on YouTube, like, you can search up flat Earth. Like, there's so many videos on it that you're like,
there's a whole like
it is flat.
there's like a whole like unified group of people that like test these theories.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy who shot himself up in his homemade rocket?
Try to. Well,
He made it at 1,800 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's not high enough, dude.
No, it's not high enough, but that's impressive. That homie made a homemade rocket and shot his ass 1,800 feet in the air and made it back.
That's the second time you know that too, right?
That he did that?
Yeah, he did it once a while ago.
So
landed. I thought it said he got higher the first time. He made a new one, was gonna launch it, but it rained, so they had to postpone. And then when he fired up, yeah,
that's impressive.
1,800 feet. No, man, you're lucky you didn't die.
Dude jumped in a homemade rocket, probably made out of like a water heater, and shot his ass up in the air twice and made it back down alive, and still believes that the Earth's flat. So, I mean, that's impressive. You got to give him the dedication award.
No, I do not.
Some people have just been locked in their mother's basement for too long, man. Like,
That's true.
give them some pussy or something and make them more happy. Like, you know. Yeah.
You a gamer?
I used to be, man. My younger brother, he's gone to work now, but yeah, he's a huge Call of Duty nut. Like, he loves that Black Ops stuff, and he's just always on, and he watches those Optic Gaming, I think it's called, on YouTube. Yeah, he loves all that stuff, man. But I've still got my PlayStation 2 hooked up, man.
That's some good shit. Spider-Man was a dope ass game on that system.
Me personally, man, like I love 64 Nintendo, but me, I just reckon PlayStation 2 was just the best console ever. Like San Andreas, the GTA series, just everything. Yeah. I honestly think that was the hardest game I think I ever had to finish was San Andreas. I should put it on my resume when I, if I ever have to go to any like job interviews, if I like lose my job, because I do like events, like setting up convention centers and stuff for like my main job. But if I ever lose that job and I need to find another one, just finish San Andreas in like 2005, be like, you got the job. That's a hard game.
That's right. You can steal cars and beat hookers like nobody's business.
Yeah, but that one you also you can work out.
Was that the one where you could first hit the beach and just?
That was the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his name.
CJ.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Where it was almost like the LA riots. Like that's what it was about. It was like Boys in the Hood, GTA.
Yeah.
I think that's where I jumped off of the GTA thing. I think I stopped playing Grand Theft Auto around that one. I don't even know if I finished it.
Dude, GTA.
I don't even play GTA.
You go to like the Burger Shack or something. And you're like, if you like ate so much and got really, really big, you'd have a heart attack. Like your health bar would go down. You'd just like faint and die.
What game can you have cardiac arrest and cause diabetes to yourself to die?
Probably The Sims, right?
The Sims. I don't play that either.
I don't play that either. I haven't played that since Super Nintendo.
What was that? The Sims?
The Sims, yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't get the point of it. Like, who wants to make a fake world just to watch?
It's social media now.
Well, right. Wow, that might be the fairest assessment of The Sims that I've ever heard. That is Facebook in a digital
Why are you
form.
on Facebook? Because I'm playing The Sims, man. I got to make sure my dude level up. I mean, you hear that shit in China, right? You watch Black Mirror?
Nah, man.
Dude,
nah.
See, I'm not the only one on the planet.
So So on Netflix, look up Black Mirror. Right, it's a there's 4 seasons, but they're all like very small episodes. Like the first season's only like 3 episodes. The second one's like 4. The third and the fourth are like 6 or 8. But it's all like new age, our era's Twilight Zone. Like no, you don't have to watch it in a row to get it because they're all individual episodes, but they're all like based on technology and like shit that can go wrong or will go wrong, shit that we will see. Like it's fucked up.
It's gonna happen.
But now, right? And I guess from what I heard today, because I already knew about the China thing, but China has basically implemented where they're judging you on your social credit, like how you do on social media. Like I sent you the articles.
No, I've read it.
Find the price.
No, I've looked into
proof
it
before, right? So that's what I'm saying.
I just find it ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but there is
people are being denied like.
But there is an episode
Basic needs because they take
Black
a shitty
Mirror
selfie.
Based on like kind of that thing where this woman is trying to get a plane to, I forget what the fuck it is, but you know, I don't even remember like the full amount of the episode, except for that's what she was trying to do is like go on a plane. But for some reason her social media likes or follows went from really high to drop down. So they're like, yeah, we can't help you. And she became like
give you this home
basically
loan.
Destitute off of Facebook. Like it's fucked up, but now China is implementing that, so it's a good show. Like you should really check it out.
I hope they don't
Black
implement
Mirror,
that
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I don't get enough likes on my offensive memes to.
They're offensive,
They are offensive for the most part.
which is why you don't get likes, unless you're a snotty.
Well, you
little
shouldn't be
brat.
friends with me on Facebook. You should know what you're getting when you're friends with me on Facebook. I don't post happy-go-lucky
how
shit.
offensive is it, man? Like, is it offensive or is it sugar-coated offensive, man?
Oh no,
So
it's
like,
it's baseline offensive and sometimes up. Like
Some of them touch on the race.
I like to stick my big toe in like the racist thing because
It's more racial. Right?
it's more racial. It's not racist because it's not anything. It's more stereotyping than it is racism. I mean, I'm not being racist. I'm just
or mocking the stereotype.
I'm just reposting some stereotypes. I mean, I'm not really trying to hurt anybody, but political season was I think the election season was probably my best. That's where I got my most likes because I could piss off both sides in the same 5-minute period. So, I mean, for everybody who hated something I posted Trump, I would equally offend the other side by posting something else. So, but yeah, I get it. Sometimes they dabble the toe in, maybe crossing the line, but I don't give a fuck. It's my Facebook page.
See, I don't think
Facebook ain't shut me down.
I don't think you've crossed the line.
I haven't crossed the line, really.
I think they're just there. I think one. If we want to touch on a quick topic of racist, some things aren't racist. They're racial.
Yes.
Like if you're making a joke and it's depending on your context, if you're not out to hurt somebody, that's like a racial. Yeah, it was close. Like you might, but there are ones where it's like it's meant to hurt somebody and that's racist.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, but I definitely go across the gamut. Like I will offend white people, black people,
some of them,
Mexican people.
Oh, offend them.
Yeah. Like I'll throw something out on white people. I don't care. Some of us deserve it. Look at a book of Walmart pictures.
You mean us?
Us. Well, I mean not me. And see how dark I am. but like check out the Walmart pictures. You ever seen those things? Yo, I could flip through a Walmart pictures slideshow for like hours. Have you ever seen these things?
Nah, man.
Okay.
I was just more thinking of like the whole politically correct thing, and I'm just like, I'm
anything
like,
but.
like I'm getting over it, man. It's just like I hear something new on the news about it every day. Like the recent one we had was last night, and I thought it was a joke. It was something about women shouldn't wear bikinis anymore or something because it's like sexist that like guys like Google I am when they're down the beach and so I said, man, what does the world really come to? Like who fucking gives a shit? Like or I think it was like they're canceling Apu from The Simpsons because it's racist against like Indians working across 7-Elevens. I said, man, you have way too much time on your hands to be thinking about that shit. Like,
I
it's
did
just
see that.
that little things that just annoy me. Like it just, dude, who cares? Like, go on about your day. Like, just, I don't know, brush it under the rug. Say the Queen's a bitch. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't know. Like that's just me personally.
It's that outrage culture is what I've been heard thrown around lately. But then you have people that are outraged at the people being outraged or fake outraged.
Well, the way I see it is, if you can't laugh, like, you can't say something if you can't laugh about yourself. Like, if you can't take some of that same little, racial stuff towards, like, if somebody put something up about white people, I wouldn't get offended by it. Be like, that's kind of funny. I know people like that. Like, everybody can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can stereotype white people all you want. It wouldn't bother me. I can laugh at myself. I can laugh at the people who are of light color to me. You got to be able to laugh at everything. Like, it's not, I mean, some of the stuff will cross the line. Like, I will pass by stuff sometimes that I'll be like, nope, not even going to think about reposting that. That is just straight. I'm going to make sure that doesn't even show up on my feed again. There are things that come across my feed like that. Well, not really anymore because I shut it down. Got in trouble.
Jesus. No,
I had family members dropping off the page, so it's like, all right, why don't you simmer down a little bit?
You have to laugh at yourself.
I do.
You have to. Like, you should.
I'm a funny motherfucker.
There's only one thing that's true.
You can clip that and put that in the promo.
In us, in all this, is that we're all gonna die. Right? So, to waste energy to be angry or mad about a lot of things is just, it's meaningless. Like, in the grand scheme of things,
we're all stuck in this life together.
We're all gonna die. That's the only thing. You might as well just get used to your neighbor because you ain't going anywhere for a while. But eventually, it's all over, man. Like, I don't want to waste time. I've listened to a bunch of groups or whatever for podcast hosts, and one of the guys was just talking shit about another host, and it's like, but he's like, oh, I went on his page to talk shit, and it's like, what? Wait, what? Like,
see, that's toxic.
You took extra steps to go say something. Why? Like, what? Why waste your energy doing that when you can put it towards creating something better? Like, why are you just gonna sit there and just, I don't know. Like, you're gonna take all them steps. I'm just lazy, bro. I'm never gonna take that many steps to.
Yeah, I need to piss you off in passing, or it's not gonna happen. Like, I mean, yeah, I ain't got time to put too much effort into it.
Yeah, I don't have
but
time
if it's
to
funny, it's
seek
funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like these people, man. Like, they do that. They're just stuck in the 9 to 5, but they complain that they're in it, and it's like, well, what are you doing outside it? It's like, go home and watch TV. It's like, well, invest your money into something you do want to do, like, and stop complaining about the people that do have it and just work towards it. And they come back with what you said, man. It's like, I'm just lazy. I can't do it. Well, there's your problem, man. Like, that's why you're stuck in the mess, because you like, get off your ass, man. Yeah.
I think it's people. They want that instant gratification instead of like realizing like it's a grind. Like for to get as big or where you want to be at whatever road, you have to work. Like, you'll get there, but you have to work. You're never gonna get there if you don't work at it. If you're just sitting there, like, it's one thing I've told my son when he, talking about different things. Like, I'm not gonna say you can be anything you want. I mean, you kind of can, but you have to work for it. Like, you're never just gonna go, oh, I'm it. Like, it just doesn't happen that way ever. Like, you have to work. It is a grind. You just have to choose your grind. You can either grind for somebody else or you can grind for yourself. Like, that's...
Yeah, like, 100%, man. I think in saying that, like, there is a chance, like, living off it or, like, achieving it, man. But I sort of come from the factor of, like, you also have to think the realistic options as well while hustling for it. Like, not just like, I'm going to make it. Like, I do, because there's thousands, even maybe millions of people that want to do what I'm doing. You know, like there's no way everyone's going to be a rapper, man. It's logically not possible. You know, so like I sometimes go to these acting gigs and I get these jokers there that are just like I go and I work hard and stuff to, you know, like try and get any opportunity or make a living off it as possible. But it's not like I'm gonna be a superstar. Like, you know, well, you know, it's like I like to have that goal, but not as the fact of it's destined to happen. You know, if that makes sense. Like I get these guys these acting things, and it's like, oh, what do you do, man, to like, you know, fund your career? It's like, oh, I don't. It's like, well, I'm gonna be the next Hugh Jackman, Heath Ledger. It's like, buddy, we're on a short film together. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
you know, it's cool. It's cool to your resume and stuff, but like, you gotta think realistic. Like, you know, it's like I would get these jokers, which is like, it's gonna happen, and it's like the way you're saying it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's not
like,
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna see you like with a little cup, you know, and saying like need, you know, money for medicine and stuff, and like it's just that's the way like that. It's you're programmed to think like have dreams and goals, man, but you got to think realistically about this as well. That so many other people want it as well, you know. So yeah, I just walk past those jokers, man. Like they're just, I don't know, silly billies to me, you know. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Whatever, silly Billy.
Shut up. All right, I kind of like that. I think that's the downfall, though, to the whole back to the viral thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people coming up now think that things are just going to be handed to them if they get that 1,000 clicks or if they get that 10,000 likes, or, you know, all they have to do is just go out on Instagram and make videos and hope that, you know, it's going to be handed to them. And I think it's because of the people that have come the last couple of years. And we've talked about this before on the show. Streamers in the games, I ain't hating on them, but they're making big money real quick, real young, with no like idea on how to handle that kind of stuff. So I think that has kind of ruined it a little bit for people coming up now, like those people who are turning 18 and trying to get those acting gigs. Oh, it's going to happen for me because it happened for so-and-so who got, you know, huge on YouTube. That's where the climate of it is.
Yeah.
It's like people
No, I
expect
get
it
what you're
because
saying.
it's already happened. That's the precedent for it. That's what they're expecting.
Yeah, but I think some of the ones that have
They don't have to work hard.
No, but some of the ones have made it did that grind. They worked for it. I mean, if you look
Some
at
of them, yeah.
If you look at
the Cash Me Outside girl. She didn't do shit except for disrespect her parents and set an entire generation back a little bit.
She got on Dr. Phil. I mean that
by disrespecting her parents or her mother and beating on her mother. Like that's how she got on that show.
Shame on her mom for not kicking her ass.
Well,
Blame
I
Catch
do.
Me
Shame
Outside
on her
girl.
mom because I
Shame
know
on
my
her
dad would have
mom.
beat my ass down
You
for that
fucking
shit.
right.
Talk to him like that. You got to be out your mind. Trying to challenge somebody in the audience. That ain't happening. Well, I tell my kid all the time, she wants to play guitar. She's so good at it, but she doesn't want to put it in the work. She's like, I don't want to practice. I already know how to do it. Well, no, that's not how it works. It's not like you don't. I mean, she has a natural ability to do it. So she thinks that just because I can do it already, that I can do it right every time. And she can't. It's like, you got to practice. And I tell her all the time, you want to get to this goal. You want to do this, this, and this. You have to put in the work to get there. And I mean, she's only 7, but if I don't instill that in her now, she's going to be at 18 expecting for people to just hand out, recording gigs to her because she can kind of play guitar and sing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to set her up for, it's a grind. You're going to have to work for it. So it's not about just people handing you it and you're good at it all of a sudden and, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, although you do get those flashes in the pan.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. She's naturally talented at it, but I tell her all the time, don't be lazy. You're being lazy. I ain't going to put up with it. Practice. You're supposed to practice.
Yeah, like I always get, things where like, the Hughesy show or something, or the university thing I was talking about, and like, my peers and stuff around me are like, like it's great, you know. It's just like it's sort of like a wow factor in the moment. Like, oh wow, I'm on all over Australia on this national broadcast. I'm in one of the schools and stuff. And how do I explain it? It's like my friends and my family are just like, how aren't you buzzed about this? Like, how aren't you jumping for joy and like, oh my God, like I've won the lotto and stuff. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm cool. Like I got that opportunity. But it hasn't made a living off it, you know, like it hasn't got me to the next level of you know, like you know, the music being my full time, which that's my main goal in life, you know, to make the funds and everything. So it's kind of like, it's great, it's stepping stones and stuff, and like great opportunities that come along the way, but it's not that thing where I guess like the average person would just be like, oh my God, I got on Husey. That like, can you believe it? With me, it's like, hey man, I got on Husey. That's great. But like the next day, I'm still doing what I'm doing, still trying to like hustle for the dream kind of thing, you know. So like a lot of people think when I say that it's very negative. It's like, man, like you should really be happy about it. I'm like happy about it, but I'm not like, you know, like jumping for joy about it, because it's just it's another opportunity to just, you know, like another gamble, you know, in a way. So yeah, I don't know, man.
No, I get what you're saying. It's not the opportunity; it's a opportunity. It's an opportunity to maybe a few more people to see you or check out the Facebook page. It's not putting you at a point where you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can just kind of give up everything and just concentrate completely on your music.
Like how like in a nutshell, it'll be like, let's like flick back to like, you know, the 80s, or, you know, something like where they're, you know, you'd get a contract of like, we're going to make you a superstar, you know, and then they're just like, their lives have changed forever. It's kind of like, it sounds like fairy tale-ish as a musician, man, you know, but, you know, like that moment, like that sort of life-changing moment where it's just like, Mugzy, all the hard work you've done, your life's going to be changed forever. That little moment kind of thing right there is where, like, you know, you can cry and be like, all the hard work's paid off. If I'm like on Husey, it's like, great, I'm out to Australia and stuff, but it's like the next day I'm going back to my job, and it's like, you know, I'm hustling more towards that. It has to be that life-changing thing, if that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, to make me like feel like I've won the lottery in a way, you know. So that's just me. So yeah, like when I do get these actors guys and they're like, I'm gonna make it and stuff, it's like, man, like you haven't had that life-changing experience yet. We're like on a short film together, come on, you know. Yeah,
this is a notch, not the whole belt.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but I love the ones that come to, you know, these gigs and they're so starstruck, like they're just so happy, you know. It's like they come and they're like, this is my first ever short film. I'm looking how the director's setting up the camera. I'm like, buddy, this is like my 60th one or something I've been on. Just wait. But like, I love the positivity and like the progression in your face. But when you hit about the 20th one, you'll be like, man, I'm sick of waiting around. Where's my lines and stuff, you know? Yeah.
What are you listening to right now?
God, man. In today's stuff, I don't have anything on my iPod, man. But just in general, just still like Rakim and Nas and stuff, man. Yeah.
You know who Hopspin is?
Hobson?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a house here in Queensland in the Gold Coast.
That's where
he said like there was some rumors back in last year he wanted to actually physically move from the States over here. Like he's got a holiday house here, but I don't think he's moved here officially yet. So yeah, I know Hobson. Like what's those mixtapes he keeps bringing out? Twisted Mindset or something? I don't know.
Ill Mind.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I haven't really got into him much. I gotta research him a bit more, man. But I like that he's very much like, you know, you gotta have lyrics and a message and stuff, and like, you know, what hip hop was brought up on. So that's MCs that I like that really dedicated to the roots. And if they see like an off kind of thing about the element where it's like, oh, we want to just mumble. It's like, well, we'll take a step back and let the other guys do it. So I gotta get more into Hobson.
Say Hobson.
And he was on. Yeah, he was on Everyone Loves So Raymond. Yeah, you know that? He was like an extra on Everyone Loves That's So Raven.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh, really?
That's So Raven?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's what they might call it. Is that what they call it over there?
Is it That's
no,
So Raven
sorry,
or
yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah, I got him too mixed up. That's So Raven he was on. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was like, what? All right. I got to ask you, what's your guilty pleasure in your playlist? Whoa. The one thing that pops up where you look around and be like, all right, nobody else is here. I'm gonna jam out to this shit.
Oh man.
I asked because you mentioned Prince earlier.
Yeah,
so,
but you can get away with Prince, man, even though
you can.
high heels and stuff. Honestly, man, it would have to be. I'd never play this with my homies or in the car. Probably Usher's Confessions album, his first one.
Oh, that album's dope, though.
Yo, you got a lady up, you throw that on.
And it's good for the girls, man. But if it's like a whole bunch of guys running in the car, you can't play that in the car, man. So that's probably my guilty. Like either that or Prince, man. You got me with Prince. Like Usher's the first album, man. I love it. Confessions was great, but I'll never play that at the same time riding with like my boys or something.
No, hell no.
But you and the boys rolling in the car, and all of a sudden Pandora pops up a little bit of Usher. You're like,
I'll put that shit on.
You would rock out to that. You'd probably make eye contact during that.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
When I when I was pretty much that stage becoming a man that we all go through. A lot of the music that was on the radio then was like Usher. We had Shy, Boys.
We were just
Men,
coming out of
like,
the Poison and Bell Biv
all
Boys to
fuck
Men.
me music. Like
I still melt to some Boys to Men.
So I'll put it on sometimes.
That's right. I said it.
That's
YouTube.
That's grinding music right there.
Damn right.
Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married and stuff.
Yeah, see, we got him to open up about it. It's not just Usher.
No, but that's good shit. But if you're riding around with a guy in the car, you're definitely not like selecting that. Like, I'm
not gonna lie. Mine's probably Adele. Adele would probably pop up on my shit, and I'd be like, yeah, that's my wife. So we're just gonna skip past that. I ain't gonna lie.
I play a lot of Amy Winehouse.
Oh,
that's good shit though.
Yeah.
27 Club.
Yeah, but it's just something raw about her shit. There's also, if you play like her station on Pandora, there's a girl that pops up, Duffy.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
She's pretty raw, almost like a Janis Joplin-esque, like not as raw, but she has a similar voice.
Yeah. Just like high off everything, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
My gamut of fucking streaming session, like streaming channels, is like from way, like I think I have 20s, like early 20s, like jazz musicians, all the way up to probably stopped in the late 2000s, right around 2000.
Hip hop.
10. Yeah, hip hop wise, and then I think the newest stuff would probably be like country or anything Sinatra-ish. Not Michael Bublé. It's a little too
He's good.
over the top. He's all right, but my gamut runs the ringer.
I got jumped on a country. There's a couple country people I'll listen to, but as far as like a genre where I was turning into it, I got pulled out of it. If you ever watch Bo Burnham's his latest stand-up, it's not Words. I'm going to have to look it up to see what it is. But he's a comedian that does songs, basically. And one of them was basically he broke down what country music is today perfectly.
It's a mishmash.
And it was like, you have to watch it. You can look up just that song on YouTube if you look up Bo Burnham's country song. And he broke it down where it was like, damn it, I don't like it anymore. Because it's designed to make you like it. It's the same like sentence basically, or same dynamic in the same way, It's the way he breaks it down. You have to watch it. I'm not singing it for you. Stop looking at me like that.
I'm a little confused by country music nowadays. Like they probably don't listen to that kind of top 40 country music or whatever, but the lines are just, it's not that it's not real country anymore. Like Chris Stapleton is where I'm at in country music right now. Like that dude's got an amazing voice. Everything that guy sings just brings me back. Like you think you listen to like some sort of blues artist or something, like that guy's got me going. But like some of the other country stuff that's going around, I can't listen to it. It's too poppy and it's just not my thing. But I got to yam it. And we got him to say he loves Usher.
He's gonna watch the boxing, man. I'm literally drawing a blank right now. The Australian dude, and he's versing the guy in Vegas. Yeah, have you what's his friggin' name? The Australian dude won against Manny Pacquiao, and he's coming to America to battle some guy in
Look
Vegas.
that up, because I know who you're talking about. They're talking about that. It's a heavyweight fight, right? I think they're shooting for September right now. Yes, I heard about this.
I'm drawing a blank on the names, but it's gonna Horn, I think. Is it Horn? I don't know. Yeah, but they've been promoting the hell out of it.
Yeah, he's the one that just beat Manny Pacquiao, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
I think it is Horn. He's Australian?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, Australian, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's been boxing's actually. I'm gonna admit it now because I was kind of wrong. I was wrong about the whole. I don't know if you watched the Mayweather McGregor fight.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I thought boxing was done completely if Mayweather lost that fight, but I didn't really think there was gonna be much of a change in how boxing was promoted and whether it would make any kind of spike afterwards if he won. And it kind of is. Like, they're bringing back a lot of these heavyweight fighters. They're bringing up these younger fighters that...
I mean, they're already there. It's just
they're there, but they don't get enough... It's not like the UFC has pretty much taken over that corner of sports. I mean, how many times are you going to pay $60 to watch a boxing match? Or are you going to pay $60 to watch a UFC fight?
I'll watch the UFC fight.
Which is going to have a better card for you?
A
UFC fight,
yeah.
right? Because you're not that into boxing. But I remember back when I was younger, I used to love boxing. Like, boxing was a shit. Watching two big dudes beat the bag out of each
Yeah,
other.
but that's because we had American heavyweights.
Yeah, now we don't have that. And I think they're bringing just the heavyweights back in general. I mean, it's been nothing but Mayweather, the last, 10 years?
I'd tip it off to McGregor, though, man. Like, I was so shocked of how many rounds that he went. Like, I thought, oh, this guy's going to get out. Like, he doesn't know that.
Do you think he let him go?
Yeah, huh?
Do you think Mayweather let him go a couple extra rounds?
Honestly, like, I was pretty dumb at first, man. Like, when like it was like the first 3 rounds and he was letting McGregor give it to him and stuff. I thought, oh god, it was one of those gambles, those jink things. Where it's kind of just like, holy crap, this could be like a whole rendezvous where he might beat Mayweather. I don't know. I just thought that. And then, like, when he was, like, getting back at him later on, I thought, how was I that stupid? like what got over me? Like, only 3 rounds, he was letting him have it. And then I thought he honestly had him over 3 rounds. Like, I was just, all like my homies and stuff looked at me like, you're crazy. You're just like he let him have those 3 rounds, and then you thought, and I was like, look, I had too much to drink. Blame it on the alcohol. Okay. Yeah, but
it's always good.
Like UFC for sure, man. Like I like how after the interview you shouted out Joe Rogan, man. I watch his podcast all the time. Like I was watching with him with Steven Tyler. That was the recent one I watched recently, and Steven Tyler was talking about all of these drugs that he did and how they got into Aerosmith and stuff. And I'm gonna probably watch the one with Everlast from House of Pain. I still got to watch that one, but I haven't got around to it. But he's such a smart dude, man. Like
who? Joe Rogan?
Yeah, Joe Rogan, man. Just some of the stuff he comes up with. Oh man, I was like, man, I grew up watching Fear Factor with you. I didn't know you were this smart.
The more I listen to his podcast, the more I think he speaks for a good portion of our generation. Like the things, his opinions and the things that he says and the way he sees things, I think are more modern, but not quite millennial. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Even though he's 50.
Yeah, like I was shocked to find out that he was that old. Like I didn't think he was really that old. I thought maybe mid 40s at latest, but I mean I know that's not a huge difference, but I mean that dude does not look 50 for one, and two, like I don't know, just some of his, you would think that some of his opinions would be skewed a little bit differently, but they're not. And I think he speaks for a lot of what our age group thinks, as opposed to this end of the spectrum and that end of the spectrum. He's kind of...
Yeah, I think he has a good blend of...
Right. He's not far one side or far the other side, which makes it easy to listen to because you can get angry at, sometimes what his guests say and sometimes what he says, but sometimes you go, oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Did he ever talk to Roseanne?
No, she...
I know she canceled. Did she come back in?
Not
no,
yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I don't know. Who knows when they will, if they will.
If they will.
Yeah. I don't
I think do you watch Howard Stern over there? Are you a big Howard Stern supporter?
I used to be.
It used to be when he was on the radio, but then once you had to like pay for it, it was like, fuck you, dude. And he got paid like huge money. Huge money to go over, and it's like, god damn, man, talk about selling out to the man.
I mean he pushed the boundaries before he was able to say and do whatever, pretty much say and do whatever he wants. I mean, I think satellite radio is regulated a little bit, but it's not run by the FCC. Like,
I think it is though. I think satellite is run.
It
by
might
the
be
FCC,
now,
but
but originally
like,
it wasn't.
It's almost like if you pay for HBO, like you're allowed to do extra because it's a paid thing.
But there's still lines.
So they're paying for those licenses, whereas I don't think he can get away with like everything, but I'm pretty sure he's got like the highest tier of shit you can get away with.
Except for podcasting.
Yeah, well, that's just because we're not controlled yet. But I mean, eventually,
it'll happen.
It's an interesting thing to see what will happen as far as like now. Just because I have no idea. We have net neutrality over here, which was signed in a couple years under Obama, I think, because they were worried about our internet providers as people began you had the whole .com thing where the internet blew up. People had all these .coms, they blew up, they got rich, the bubble popped. Now as an entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur, people had a lot of different businesses on the internet, and they were worried about cable companies or internet providers being able to jack up prices, and fluctuate like, oh, you want that shit, you got to pay for this super tier. So during the Obama administration, they did net neutrality.
Right, because it was basically 3 internet providers. Basically, I mean, there are other ones, but there were basically really 3 internet providers, and they each had a section of the country. So they basically monopolized the entire country through these 3 internet providers. Yeah. There are smaller ones, but you have your big corporations that basically cover the masses. And then then they had the net neutrality, and then they repealed it.
Yeah, so they tried to repeal net neutrality. It's still not fully
it's back in.
Yet. Is it?
Yeah, it's back in. I think it was like last week they just put it back into effect.
Yeah,
I mean,
they try to do away with it. So I'm wondering if over there, if you have to deal with that same thing, where your internet is like, I mean, I don't know. Who do you have for providers over there?
It's gonna sound so random, but like, like the names, because the names are probably like different, like Telstra, Optus. I don't know. They're the brands.
I've actually heard of Telstra.
Hey.
Yeah, just out of other things that I've seen.
Wait, get out of here, man. Wait, you just have Telstra over there?
No, he listens to Australian podcasts.
I listen to one podcast, and the dude is Australian.
Man. You got me. Yeah. Like, damn, like Telstra's picking their game up.
No, I've read it and heard it in other things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm with Telstra, but no, like it has like a lot of. I don't know much about it, man, but I know that they're having troubles with their connections or with the power lines and stuff or something, like it keeps cutting out, or when something with like the funds and like with your bill. There was something recent that my folks got caught into where I can't remember how much they were paying, like a month, but I remember my dad used to be always on the phone with them and say, "I paid the bill," and like it wouldn't go through their system that he's already paid, so he'd have to pay more and more and stuff. So that was a bit of a stuff up with Telstra, but I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. I just use it and then let other people pay for me. Yeah.
Well, did you hear what happened today? They had a phone outage.
Where?
Everywhere.
No, I don't have a phone.
Like landlines across the country kind of went down for a couple hours.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was trying to call local businesses today, and people were trying to call our business, and found out that it was widespread. Like for some reason, just phone lines went down.
No shit.
Not internet, not cable, none of that. Just phone lines. Like.
Well, there were parts of Africa, I think, that lost internet for a week, I want to say.
That sounds like a local problem.
Yeah. No, like a lot of Africa.
Yeah, it sounds like.
But
yeah,
I mean, it was not our problem, but still, it's some scary shit because it's just cords underneath the ocean.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Like it just. See you later. There it went.
They shouldn't complain. Puerto Rico still doesn't have anything.
Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water.
Fair enough. We could go for tit for tat all night.
Yeah.
It's like from how much we rely on social media and internet. Yeah. What did you say? Was it Africa or something? No,
Yeah.
didn't have it for a week or so. Yeah, like I've done that before, man. You know, like we 2016 we had like this massive blackout where I'm from, like up the coast and stuff, and we were out of internet and power for possibly almost a week. And legit, man, that's how much we need internet and social media. I became like a junkie, man. I started getting the scratch. I was like, I need to check my damn Facebook and stuff, you know. It's like, go read a book or so. I was like, fuck your books and stuff. I
haven't liked a meme in 7 days.
Yeah, just like 7 days without.
Are you kidding
man.
me? There would be like amendments to the Constitution for shit like that if we lost Wi-Fi. If America lost Wi-Fi for 12 hours, people would be up in arms. They'd be marching on Washington. Fucking not a single social problem would matter. Like until we got Wi-Fi back.
It was looking back, I can laugh on it, man. Like, cause no power, so you know, like you couldn't have hot foods and stuff, and it was really, yeah, man. It was basically like World War II kind of stuff, man. I don't know, like I'm just rambling on, but yeah, like it was funny because like 7 days without internet and like hardly no coffee. It was such a struggle, you know, like just of human life form. And I remember there's a suburb that's about maybe 30-minute drive away from us called Woy Woy. Yeah, that's what it's called, Woy Woy. And their McDonald's there had like a generator thing that was like funding power, like through a generator or something. And it was like heaven. Like we drove there one day just to get a coffee, and it was like the most glorious coffee ever. It
they
was
had
just
free Wi-Fi.
yeah, and it had Wi-Fi as well, and like the line was just oh god, man, it was just
sounds like every Starbucks.
Yeah, like crazy, man.
Say the name of that town again.
Woy Woy, WOY.
We have towns like that, but yet still a McDonald's.
Right.
Look.
And that was the only place that had power and Wi-Fi.
What?
Yeah,
that's like finding a McDonald's in Detroit that has power and Wi-Fi.
Yeah, like the coffees over here for McDonald's, man, are just labeled as like one of the worst and stuff. But like on that day with like no Wi-Fi, no nothing, it was like a heaven coffee, like brought down from the gods.
I don't know, man. People would not make it long around me if I didn't have coffee for a week. No caffeine for a week? Mm-mm.
Not even just the caffeine, no coffee.
No coffee.
I mean, I can even do decaf. There's something like medicinal about coffee.
Jesus. No coffee for a week, people would be borderline. I'd be borderline snapping.
I look at people when they drink soda. Like a woman I work with, she drinks Diet Coke in the morning. I'm like, ugh, what?
What?
She's like, it's got caffeine like that. Coffee is not the same.
No, it is.
There is nothing the same about that and this.
These are in two different food groups.
That's awesome, man.
What's the coffee like over there, guys? Like, is it
Imported.
like,
Well, you got your
He-
tiered levels. I mean,
Yeah?
you got your gas station coffee, which is normally pretty good. Then you
no,
got your
no, it's not. It doesn't
Cum-
taste bad.
Cumberland
but
Farms
it
is pretty good.
No, it
I
is
mean, if you make it
watered
right,
down.
it is watered down. And then you got your working man's coffee, which is usually Dunkin' Donuts. And then you got, I want to say White America, but it's really not. But then you got Starbucks.
Hipster America.
Hipster America, that's the best way to put it, because that could be of all races and everything. So
Although I like Starbucks on some shit.
I'd like to bring up Tim Hortons, but I have like flashbacks now every time I think about Tim Hortons. Did you
that
see
just
this?
came to me. I have a question for you. How movies portray America, like super bad, like colleges and high school, is that true? Like, is that like with the lockers, you don't have uniforms, like the nerds,
Oh
the
yeah.
jocks?
Public school here? No, there's no
yeah.
uniforms.
No, there's definitely. I mean,
yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure MTV is like, was it? How's the Teenage Mom?
Teen
I
Mom,
didn't watch
yeah.
that.
Teen Mom,
I
yeah.
didn't
So
watch
that
I heard a couple of them ended up as porn stars, but
We'll go figure.
I know, surprise, surprise.
But yeah, like that, I could see that happening. The Teen Mom is definitely America, like that. Not all of it how it's portrayed. I've never seen anybody get up and start singing songs, although it'd probably be weird if you just all of a sudden flash mob a school.
Yeah, I mean, most public schools here, there's definitely no uniforms. And I mean, compared to other places in the world, we're pretty free roam about our public schools. Now, if you want your kid to wear a uniform and get like a really, really good education, you pay lots of money and send them to a private school, usually Catholic, but most of the time.
Okay.
But, some private schools.
We only train school kids to be factory workers, basically.
Yeah, I mean, our school system is definitely lacking in its efforts. That's probably why we're
It hasn't
in the
changed
middle of the
since it
pack
started.
of education in the world. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we mass produce basically to get people in and out of school systems. I mean, from the time they're in kindergarten all the way. I don't know how you guys structure yours, but you do kindergarten and then your primary school, I would assume, is first through. That would be you.
Year 6, and then year 7's high school to year 12, and then we don't have college. We call it university here. So, what's middle school? I've heard the term middle school.
We call it middle school. It's usually elementary school, which is first through 5th or 6th, depending on what state you live in, but usually 6th. And then 7th and 8th is usually middle school. I think nowadays it's 7th, 8th, and 9th to do middle school. And then they do 10, 11, 12 is high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
like middle school and high school for you is just basically high school for us. So it's like year 7 to year 12. Yeah. So,
I think they started separating the freshmen being 9th grade, out from the rest of the older kids just because
they were getting pregnant.
I think they wanted to tier it more so the kids could hit a top of the food chain thing in each level of school. So you hit 6th grade, you're the top of the food chain. You hit 9th grade, you're the top of the food chain. You hit, 12. It's more of a social thing, the way they structured it, in my opinion. I've lived through all kinds of different ways they do high school, everything from blocking them to integrating 8th graders in with, 12th graders, which is not a good thing. I mean, 8th graders emotionally and, usually size-wise are not inept to deal with a, senior jock. So, I mean, the way they structure it in each state is a little bit different. But for the most part, that's how they break it down.
Does every family want their sons or daughters to go to college? Is that the dream? Or am I just portraying the movies again?
No, I think there was a period of time where that was the way, that was what you were led to believe. Like that was part of.
There were two great ways you could go.
No,
there were two acceptable ways. You either joined the military or you went off to college, and I think that's kind of changed.
Where there was a period of time where the left, the Democrats were in power, and liberals made you feel that you want to go to college to, instead of going into the trades like a plumber or an electrician or carpenter or the military, you want to go into college and get some degree in psychology and philosophy, because yes, we need to be thinking of things and conscious of why we do things, and think about other people, and that's how you get empathy and stuff like that. But let's just focus on that. And now, recently, I guess, or not so recently, within the past couple of years, it's starting to affect the trades. A lot of the older plumbers and stuff like that are retiring, and there's nobody filling, so it's a struggle for those jobs.
Vocational schools do not get a lot of love nowadays.
They're looked at last resort.
Yeah, they're looked at as, like, if you go to a community college or you go to like a trade school, tech school, whatever they call them, depending on where you are, and go and get one of those. It's kind of looked down upon to be an electrician, to be a plumber, to be a tradesman of any sort. And I think it's on the swing. It's on the upswing for those kinds of jobs. I think people are starting to see that they're actually higher paying jobs than some other jobs. Like, you can go to school for 4 years and become a teacher and teach at a high school and be there for 10 years and barely make the same amount of money as somebody who's been doing, has been an electrician for 2 years. I mean, they make good money nowadays in trade because they're lacking in those people to do it. So,
that's man, how you said it's looked upon as a low field, because over here, that's like your celebrity status over here. Like, legit, like, carpenters, plumbers, builders, and stuff. That's your go-to thing. And, like, if someone wants to, like, study to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, because there's not much work for it, you're kind of frowned upon, because it's sort of like, oh, you're not making an income, sort of, because like a lot of students are getting into these courses where it's sort of like, I want to be a psychologist, I want to be a doctor, and there's hardly, like, no positions for it. So it's like, you do the 4 years and all you do is get a degree. You're not really contributing to society, like, afterwards. So like, the trades are more to where to go, because they're building all the skyscrapers here and everything. So they're getting a lot of tradies and stuff on board. We call them tradies over here. So yeah, like, I got a friend that's studying, I think he's biomedicine or something. He's almost passing 30s, and he's like, just doesn't want to leave uni. He's like stuck in that trap where he's trying to figure out the next subject, because he just doesn't want to get into the real world. And, like, everyone around's like, look, like, it's time to, like, wake up and stuff. Like, you just can't just get that lecturer job. It doesn't just happen. He's like, no, he's in that mindset I was saying before. I'm gonna get it. It's like, past 30, man, you can't be living with your parents forever, man. Like, yeah. So he just needs a wake up call, but he's in that frame of mindset, man. But yeah, the tradies look like a really big over here, man. So if any Americans,
That's
like,
so funny.
like, oh, I'm just a tradie, I'm not anything, come to Australia. We'll love you over here.
You're a superstar, man. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I know this isn't 100% true the way I'm going to say it, but I think most of America looks at, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, your degree really doesn't mean anything. Or unless you're a computer engineer, you're coming out of MIT, you're, head of your class in robotics or AI or software design. Like, those are the things that college is really working for. Those are the people those are the jobs that are out there now. If you're just going, like you said, to be a psychologist or, a teacher or anything like that, I mean, it's not as big of a thing as it used to be. I think they're definitely starting to push more, because when I was in school, it was like, oh, these kind of look like your options. I mean, military, or do you know how to weld?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, welders make good money too. Those guys are freaking crazy. If you can be an underwater welder, I think you're in the six figures. If you know how to do that like underwater stuff, you making money.
Oh, hell yeah. I think here we look at the fast life a lot. Like that is probably, if there's a stereotype,
Flash.
yeah, where it's always like you're trying to be that actor or the next Twitch streamer or YouTube streamer or hip hop artist, or you're going to college to talk some philosophy, or was it liberal arts? I believe that's what it's.
Liberal arts, okay.
I don't get what it does, but
I don't get what it
something.
does either, and that's the only reason I have the opinion that it's just a fucking throwaway for people to say, yeah, I went to college. I went to college for 4 years. I have a liberal arts degree. And again, I didn't go to
English major.
Or an English major.
When you speak English.
Right. Well, just because you speak English does not mean that you know or understand the language.
Bro,
trust me.
I squoze this orange earlier.
Squoze is not a word.
Squoze is a word in the Webster Dictionary.
I'm going to need proof for that later. Squoze is not a word. I doubt it. But Google knows all.
So the fast life thing that you're saying, man, like, yeah, go on with that. I was actually really intrigued by that, man. Like, so what, like, a lot of just want to...
Yeah, I mean, there's... So, there was a period of time, like, since you this is your first show, like, I know you reached out, but there was a period of time where we were featuring music. So we got, because I said I did the hip hop career earlier, so we would go back and look at, I don't know, I was cruising Facebook, networking, stalking,
networking. We've moved on to
however
networking.
You want to call it, going on Facebook and looking for artists. And do you know who Gary Vee is? If you know Joe,
nah.
No. So Gary Vee is an entrepreneur from New York. He's like your typical New Yorker guy, but I mean, he's a hustler. He's big into internet, big into trends, was big into wine. Like, he was one of the first, like, almost pioneers of YouTube. And he had all to do with, like, his father's wine business. And over time, like, now he's just into branding and doing everything and motivational speaking, writing books. But he's got some good advice. He grinds like a motherfucker. But through him, in a post that he made, I met a local hip hop star, Leon Legacy. I'll send you a link to him. Like, dude, he's got some good shit. Like, and it's different than your.
It's socially driven.
Yeah, it's not mumble
and
rap.
Personally driven, but
one thing, like, we've seen, like, is getting. There are a lot of SoundCloud, and that's what I guess mumble rap. They're SoundCloud artists, where they're on SoundCloud, they're pushing it out, and everybody's trying to be that next viral sensation as opposed to being an artist. Like, there's no grind there. So they're just looking for that fast hit of, bam, I'm a star. Like, it's just very different. But I think America, we fostered that for a long time. I think we're waking up. But we definitely, like, started that shit, fostered that shit. Recently, have gotten the world, like, catching on to some of it, and now it's, like, waking up, like, whoa.
It's that cycle that the country goes through. We go through this cycle of hardworking, like, pushing, and then get complacent, and then realize that we've gotten complacent, and then we start pushing. So, I mean, it's seen all through history, so... Yeah. But
we're stuck in the Matrix.
I don't know if you did. Did I ask you if you saw the episode with Logic on Netflix?
I did not. The Rapture.
Is that Rapture? Yeah. I can't remember if that was Rapture or Hip Hop Nation, but whichever one it was, they did episode 1 on Logic. That dude, I'd never realized. Like, I've heard a little bit of what he does, but that dude is crazy. Like, that guy's working his ass off all the time. Watch that episode. He is nonstop. I don't even think he sleeps. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sleep. He might just, like, stop for 5 minutes, and that's it.
You gotta grind, dude. It is. Social media only gets you so far. It's actually interacting with people that drives it.
Yeah, like I love what you said about Logic, man. I haven't heard much of any of his stuff. I've seen his Vlad TV interviews, man. Seems like a good kid, man. But that's what I love. I love artists that just hustle and grind to the bone, you know, and like they got to like rely on coffee and like no sleep. But I also love the ones, and I think it's Logic as well, where that they actually know the roots of where it came from. It's not like these artists where it's like they put like, you know, Puck up there on like a number 2 or something, you know, like, oh, he's an old school cat, like, you know, or it's like, where did hip hop come from? It's like, I don't know, I just thought it was cool, so I just decided to do it. Like that's the like, you know, when I started off, like, I just got into hip hop because, you know, like, obviously I told you it's like the Eminem and the white boy and the cool thing, but then I really want to study homework on it and realize where it came from, you know, like the block parties and, you know, the slums and that sort of stuff, and to where it is now. And then sort of when I see these kids now, and it's like, we're just doing it because it's a, you know, I want to be the next star, or like, you know, it's just cool to do. And it's like, why should I listen to what Grandma Kaz says, or like how, you know, the first ever mainstream artist was like Curtis Blow or stuff like that? It's just like, man, that's disgusting to me, man, because I feel like, you know, that's what's watering the culture, man. I'm not knowing what the culture's about, like, you know. So I love artists that hustle hard, but also really love this culture to all the elements that it has over the years. So Logic's a good dude, man. Yeah, for sure.
I think part of that hustle is knowing it and living it.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Hustle.
Like if it's almost like saying, like, if you love what you're doing, then it's not work, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
like I said. I mean, not that I fell out of love with the hip hop culture. When I found it, like it,
You
I
just
was
found
at
a
I was
hentai.
at that what
Hentai.
hentai?
Hentai. Is that what you found?
No,
No. That wasn't what took you away from it?
no.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Anime, yes. I will not hentai you, motherfucker. You son of a bitch.
You didn't even know I knew what that was.
That is true.
Surprise.
But when I found hip hop, like, I was at, I would say, a low point in my life. So it definitely, like, spoke to me. I felt that anger. There was a part of me. And then as I've gotten older, probably a lot of it because the people I listen to, I'll listen to them, and I don't branch out to new stuff often. But it doesn't have that same connection. Maybe that's because those ones are gone. I mean, the new shit that like Eminem still puts out with Royce. You heard Caterpillar?
Was that the new one he did?
Yeah, with
was
Royce.
Like, yeah, like that's a good point you brought up, man. Sorry to cut you off. It's like, I feel that a lot of rappers now, especially the white ones, I've been realizing they try and put these big syllable words in it to make it like sound like very creativity, you know, and you're listening to the verse and it's like, that's real great how you rhymed off it, but what are you saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I like, for example, like I'll listen to Rakim, and it'll just be like, it'll be so like, you know, his rhymes are so good, like, you know, so good, but like they're like plain, you know, some of the times it'll be very plain, but the way that he's, you know, portraying the words and the lyrics and the message, you can visualize at like a portrait, like a painting in a way, you know. It's sort of just like, what was his what was it? There was a line that I really liked by him. It was was it timeless? The age don't count in the booth. Wait, timeless. Your age don't count in the booth when your rhymes. Fuck. Sorry, man. I'm totally forgot it. Timeless. Age don't count in the booth when your mind's. No, I've lost it. It was something about like age don't matter to youth, of like if you're progressing a message or something. But it was like the most basic rhyme. But when he said it, I just thought, holy fuck, that was amazing right there. And it was like youth and booth. And like now I feel like it needs some astronomical word and like another word. And it's like, what did you just say? Like, what did you... I feel like they're just, you know, like they're putting these big mumbo jumbo words in it and these metaphors and stuff. And by the end of like the thing, all these comments like, man, that was dope. Like, and like, I'm just writing, what did he say? Like, I didn't even understand one word of that. Like, you know, because it was all metaphors and it wasn't a smooth structure. And I feel that's a lot of rappers are doing now, man, is just, either mumble or that kind of stuff. And I'm sounding like an old cat in a way again, man.
They just trying to throw in Alexa's word of the day.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
As soon as actually this is live, so I probably just set off about 5 Alexas.
Alexa, what's the word of the day?
People are gonna be like, "What the?" Dude, those things are freaky, man. Don't make them go off for no reason.
I'll try not to.
Sounds like Sesame Street, man. The word of the day, the letter of the day.
Oh,
Please don't.
I love it, man. I ask that thing all the time. What's the word of the day? I like to expand my vocabulary.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Checking the time.
All right.
I gotta let you go, man. This has been fun, dude. We should do this again.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, I'm going to go cup of coffee, man, and get back to my business and stuff, man. But, yeah, definitely keep in touch, guys. And go see Solo, man. As a Star Wars fan, you got to see Solo.
Oh, I'm going to see Solo. We're going to go see the Tag movie next, I think. And I might buy another ticket and go see Solo afterwards.
I'm down.
You down?
Oh,
hell yeah. I get that whole day to myself.
Yeah.
Before I go, man, like, because I know you guys release movies before we do. Is Gotti out? The John Travolta movie on John Gotti, the mafia boss, is that out over there at the moment? Do you know?
No.
I don't know.
Is it a production, like movie theater movie that's coming out? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Siri.
Don't know. Because they keep putting it
Gotti
back, and I don't know if Australia is going to release it or not, or I thought we, like, missed it. Because sometimes when movies come out, like, you know, our entertainment government or whatever it is, sometimes it thinks it might not be suitable to our shores, and they sometimes cancel the movie to come over here. So
seriously,
really?
Yeah, legit, man.
People would fucking lose their mind.
What
do you mean we can't see Avengers?
Yeah, one that I do remember at the top of the head was when Rob Zombie did Halloween 1 came, like over here when he did the remake, that came, but when he did number 2, they didn't even release it. They said, like, I think it went through the entertainment government over here. They got a copy of it, and they said, nah, this is just way too over the top.
Did you guys get to see the rejects?
The Devil's Reject?
Yeah.
That was, I don't know if, like, that was in the 90s, man. So
yeah, but that was brutal compared to...
Yeah, that's on DVD over here, but I couldn't tell you if it went to movies. It probably didn't. But yeah, like it went straight to DVD. So there's a lot that.
Oh, so it's not widespread. It's not across all media. It's just usually movie theaters that they don't allow it into.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, but there's a big uproar about it. I mean, like, you know, when you guys would release like a big massive gore film or something, you know, it just say like Halloween. Like if the new Halloween came over here and American fans like it's so great, and Australia's sitting there waiting, saying like, what the fuck's going on? When's it coming? And then you look in the government's like, entertainment government saw Halloween 2018, said it was too gory, we can't come it into our shores. Yeah, so there's some films where they, there's guidelines where it doesn't come past, man, which is becoming a bit of a joke, because if they do that to Halloween, man, I'm gonna go up to you know, PM and like slit his throat, man, because that's the film I'm looking forward to all year, man.
They have a new sequel coming out for the Devil's Rejects, I think. There's another one coming out. I know I see that, but I didn't know there was a new Halloween movie coming out.
For those watching the video, let them shout out where they can find you again, just in case. I mean, that was almost an hour ago.
This is for the YouTube.
Just type in Mugzy on Facebook, MUGZY or MUGZY, and yeah, just find me there, man, and hit me up with whatever you want if you're an artist, or you know, just want me to get on something, whatever the case may be, just find me there. And thanks once again, guys. It was a whole bunch of fun. Like this was. Look, I can't even get the smile off my face.
Nah, it's a good time, bro.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun, dude. We'll definitely do this again. Renee Brady, a.k.a. Mugzy, out of Australia. Signing off, dude.
Flat Earthers, suck it.
Later, bud.
Have a good night.